Yeah, hello, Internet.
Yeah.
Hi, Internet and NSA.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Shadowrun, Siamese Serpents. We have just secured the airport, and upon doing so, using a combination of small arms and matrix interaction, magic, and good old-fashioned assaults, we have as soon as we've barely let the dust settle, when we get a message from our original Mr. Johnson, Mr. Yellow, who sends us a message telling us to take and hold the facility and to wait further instructions. Some of you are in the control tower, some of you are not, but the place is secure. The vast majority of the Khmer troops are fleeing into the rice fields. A handful of them managed to get vehicles, but the vast majority of them are running on foot.
I took action to cut them off from getting vehicles.
A couple of them still got a couple of motorbikes and whatnot. So a few of them got some motorbikes and they managed to get away. But yeah, as you said, the vast majority of them were denied access to that escape.
Yeah, and didn't they run off through a minefield?
Some of them, yeah. The short answer is yes, they are running through a minefield. And yes, there are a few explosions going off in the background.
And we were told to hold the airport for an undetermined amount of time.
Yeah, that's correct. All right.
Well,
so the dust is beginning to settle. What do we do?
I'm assuming I'm still in the rice paddy.
I guess so. Yeah.
We agreed after Mr. Johnson called, Mr. Yellow called, that we didn't entirely trust this. The message he sent was kind of weird, so we figured we'd have you hunker down there just in case something bad happens.
Did we talk to Buang?
She
Not
is
yet.
unconscious.
We knocked her out.
We did very briefly. I sent her a message, she didn't respond, and then we knocked her out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we just basically blew open a couple windows. I launched a flashbang in, and then Trey threw his own in, and between those, it just KO'd everyone in the room.
Oh, including her. Nice. Sweet.
Yep.
Damn.
So Ricochet, you're being in the mud, in the shack. The majority of the Khmer Rouge, of which there are more than 200, are fleeing in the opposite direction away from you. You are, for want of a better term, in the front of the airport. Most of them are fleeing out the back of the airport, but they are running in all directions. All of this means that you have roughly 30 or 40 live targets for you to shoot if you chose to do so.
I will ignore them and not move.
I didn't think so. But and so some of them come within, say, 50 meters of your shed.
Yep.
But none of them stop at your shed. They just a handful catch their breath. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're in the middle of a rice paddy, and they're running through that rice paddy, and occasionally you can hear explosions as the mines go off. But the mines aren't packed in as densely as perhaps we might have liked, or perhaps they might have liked either.
Yeah.
And I don't know a lot about minefields, but I don't imagine that most minefields have an explosive device planted every third or fourth meter. That doesn't seem like a very good use of the resources to me, unless you absolutely need to protect
they're more of a deterrent than an actual.
Exactly, right? Like that's it. You want people to know that there are mines there so that they don't even try.
I've also seen mines are pretty cheap to manufacture.
If you want to go through a minefield, you have to slow down, and that means people are going to be shooting at you a lot easier. That's kind of one of the main things. It's a barrier. You can easily get through them, but they're not meant for that. But they're meant to impede you, slow you down.
I watched a really good movie with last year, I think it was, about them clearing the mines in fucking wherever it was, Norway, was it? I think, where the Germans put shitloads of mines on the beaches because they thought that's where we were going to land. And yeah, there wasn't that many fucking mines. There were still quite a few, but the spaces between them were pretty wide.
I think I will. Once Godfather's shot his flashbang off and Blanc's confirmed down, he's gonna wheel his like APC, I guess, the party bus, up sort of to the edge of the airfield adjacent to the fleeing soldiers, and he'll have one of his LMGs open up with suppressing fire.
Yeah, sure. You bring down somewhere between 5 and 15 soldiers. You know, it's difficult to tell exactly how many you kill and how many crawl off, but you severely injure a few, you severely kill a few more, and you deny the rest the ability to catch their breath, and they just keep running and running and running until their poor little 12-year-old hearts nearly give out.
Yeah. So he's got a max range of like 800 meters, so I'll just leave it to empty the belt.
Yeah, right. And if your intent is to kill hundreds of people, it doesn't work. But if your intent is to terrorize them, then it's extremely effective.
Yeah, my intent is to leave as few of these kids, I guess, to run off and become bandits or regroup somewhere.
And the airport is now yours.
Quick, loot it now.
Yeah, everybody else start doing inventory.
The fuck inventory, just get it in the van.
Yeah, just load everything in the fucking van, including Blanc. I'll ask Trey to bring her down here.
Or we can stash it downstairs near the fucking sewer pipe, and that way, if we need to come and get it later after they've taken it off us, we can.
Yeah, either works. Get all the expensive shit in the van, though. All right.
You've got no idea of what the expensive shit is. Tell me what you're taking. Like an anti-aircraft gun probably won't fit in the van, for example.
Take Buwan's comlink off her and give her one of our burner phones that hasn't been used yet.
Yep. Yeah, weapons, ammunition, comm links, any like military gear or electronics.
There was some rocket launchers.
You're gonna have to be more specific on that.
There was some rocket launchers, I believe.
We killed. Well, yeah. There was. Most of them were taken out with small arms fire, so most of them will be
but
back.
The rocket launchers could still be good, yeah.
Yeah. So you can have roll a d6 plus 2. They're single shot rocket launchers, and a couple of them blew themselves up. So
Oh really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know if you missed that. Yeah. But for example, one was about to fire when they were hit by Mako, and so it wasn't about to fire. They were loading the rocket. When they got shot, the rocket fell out at their feet and just blew up the whole squadron. Anyway, so a d6 plus 2. So there are 6 of these single shot shoulder mounted RPGs. I think the rules of. I think there are rules for them in Shadowrun, but I'm not certain.
Yeah, as technology strikers.
Cool.
Yeah, what type of rocket are they loaded with? Fragmentation, high explosive. Okay.
High explosive.
Yeah, they're general purpose. They're designed to take out basically anything, not specifically tanks, not specifically anti-personnel, just do a lot of damage.
All right, that could come in handy.
Let's get those mortars and their mortar tubes.
Cool.
Get
There's
the
2
tank
mortars.
ammunition.
Yeah, cool. There's 2 mortars. You can have 3d6 rounds in total for the mortars.
High explosive as well.
High explosive as well. Yeah. Yeah, the grenades are frag and the explosives are high explosive. Tank ammunition. There was one crate of it, one box. So I'm going to assume that's around about 50 rounds. That might be generous. Maybe there's only 20 rounds in a I don't know how big a tank shell is. Yeah. So let's say you've got a box the size of so that I don't have to give any other dimensions, a coffin. Imagine you've got a box the size of a coffin, long, tall, not that tall, not that wide. How many tank rounds could you fit in something about that big? 20 or 50?
Not even that.
Not even that. Well, we'll go with 20 then. So there's 20 tank shells.
I don't think there's anything analogous we can use for tank shells.
You're recording all that, are you, Neolith? Yeah, on the war chest.
Yeah.
The RPGs and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, sweet.
Is there no tank in any of the supplements?
Not in 5th edition.
Yeah, we can.
Then we'll have to
get
go back
them.
to 4th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 4th edition stuff's pretty close.
Yeah.
So,
You just got to up the damage and armor ratings on everything a lot.
Yeah. The damage rating is unfortunately the part that's the most different, but we can work it out. If nothing else, we'll just give it the same amount of damage as a high explosive missile.
I think that's actually probably about right. So
anti-vehicle might be better.
Yeah.
That's what
Use
kind of
against harder targets.
Yeah.
Depends what kind of round it shoots. Not all tank rounds are anti-vehicle.
Yeah, these ones would be anti-vehicle. It's meant to be an anti-tank tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we'll go with. 20 anti-vehicle rockets. They're not rockets; they're tank shells. But you know what we're talking about. Cool. So we've grabbed a bunch of stuff. Anything else? Yeah, keep going.
Once Trey gets the unconscious Wong down to the APC, I'm gonna put a mage hood, a pair of mage cuffs on her, and then I'm going to inject her with a dose of blight.
Silly question, but you've obviously got all of those pieces of equipment.
Yep.
Of course.
Need to imprison a mage sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you just open the book? Like, I want one of everything.
I mean, yeah. When you start with as much money as a rigger, that's basically how it works. Is my superpower is I'm Tony Stark, basically. I have money and I'm really good with tech.
I'd say you're Batman.
But I'm physically useless, so I'm not Batman. And I don't have an Iron Man suit. I have an APC.
I think you have enough drugs that you could be there.
Yeah, I even got a drug problem. Like, yeah. So the way all those work is, blight is a drug that, when injected, cuts off a mage's connection to the astral, so they can't astrally perceive, can't project, can't cast, can't summon or anything. For
nasty
I believe
shit.
it's like 9 minus their body hours.
I haven't mentioned this yet, but I will before I forget. All of the soldiers, and you can probably pick up the bodies of like 30 or 40 of them if you want. All of the soldiers tend to have drugs. The ones that didn't get to use them, they have a dose of kamikaze, and I think the other one that they were using might have been either Jazz or Nova or
Kamikaze. I think.
Kamikaze was one of them, and the other one was they carried 2 drugs.
Nitro.
Maybe it was Nitro. I haven't got the rules
That's
up.
one designed for like troll gangers.
Basically, the ones that don't overlap so much. So, like, what Kamikaze doesn't do, they have another drug to supplement what Kamikaze can't help with. Like, I don't know, agility or some shit.
Yeah, I found it in Blank's comlink.
Right.
It's a hit of Jazz, Coke, and Kamikaze.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but those 3 drugs will all interact with each other.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying what I see in the comlink.
That's what the comlink says. Yeah. We'll go with the comlink sense because they're still doing tests at the moment. So yeah.
So from the look, they're arming it with Colts or a pistol, aren't they?
Yeah, no, Colt is like an M16. I'm pretty sure it's like cheaper than an AK.
Yeah, so they're giving their soldiers Colts, a Beretta, a pineapple, and those 3 drugs.
Yeah,
I find that's
and
under 1,000 yen. I mean, yuan.
The ones that you have though are almost all AKs though. In spite of what the comlink says, the majority of these soldiers are carrying AKs.
Looks like these are the old soldiers, I think. Or maybe it's old, like news from the comlink.
Both are possible. Yeah, both are possible. They do appear to be pretty old AKs though. Like, yeah, they. That's the beauty of an AK is that 20 years after it was manufactured, still nothing wrong with it.
There's the effective blight, just for record.
Cool.
What if you use blight on someone who's already astral projecting? Do they? I mean, I assume that they'd either instantly die or be brought back to their body.
Yeah, it'd be brought back to your body. It'd be like ripping someone out of the Matrix. It'd be like a system shock, but apart from that, it'd be okay. I imagine. I don't
know. Did they have any like electronics or communications equipment laying around?
Walkie-talkies and shit, but comlinks were their electronics equipment. Yeah. The Khmer Rouge are a little better than terrorists, and thus they tend to use civilian items, and I list AKs as a civilian item.
Theoretically, you can't knock someone unconscious who's actually projecting because they're already unconscious.
Boy.
So,
what would blight do then?
Cut them off from the astral, wouldn't it? So it'd eject them from the astral and send their spirit reeling back to their body. That's my impression.
Filling them up on stun damage, however, would be a different matter. Because I think even if while they're actually projected, the damage you do to the body still happens to the astral form, so they would. If they go unconscious on the astral, yeah, I'm not sure what happens. Probably get ripped back to the body, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, like it's either that or be cut off completely, and it seems like a pretty fucking easily evil way to kill an archmage if that was the case, right? Yeah.
Or like, can't come back out of the astral, guess you're dead.
That's
astral projection.
Could just be you're not able to get back into your body until the drug wears off, which could kill mages too.
Possible too. Yeah, good call. Yeah, good call. Your soul can't return to your form. That's another good interpretation.
Maybe this is a thing like we should not worry about until it comes up.
Guess so.
Yeah.
I would say she's not astral anymore anyway because the flashbangs would have given her enough stun damage.
She's unconscious. And she was conscious because she was fighting the spirits until she got knocked out.
Yeah. It certainly doesn't apply to Boang because she is your captive. She is in the van, she's mage hooded, mage cuffed, and she's lying on a whole bunch of hardware like those Aztec rockets you were talking about, or the Aztec grade ones anyway, and the tank shells.
Had her hands cuffed above her, obviously, and her feet manacled to the seat, so she can't move.
The tank shells, the missile launchers. What else are we taking? I guess we're starting to really fill the van up already, but.
Yeah, how many AKs have they got?
Fucking 700, like how many AKs do you want? They've got more than you can carry.
Yeah, just put them all in the basement or something.
Sure. So you're going to go around the battlefield and collect them up. It's a fair amount of time, but
have we checked out much
The control tower, yeah, we secured that. We haven't really.
Have we gone through and checked it out though?
No, we ended with the battle being won, and that was the last thing we did.
I think we should go through and check that out. If there's anything valuable, it's probably going to be in there.
Yeah. Also, Mako, wasn't there somebody watching us on the Matrix?
That's what I said, yeah.
And it didn't look like the little communist soldier that was like attacking us before?
No, it was someone in a trench coat.
Should we maybe do something about that?
Are they still around?
They are taking notes.
Well, I will try to run a trace on them.
Right, so how does that work?
Let me pull it up. It's an opposed test. I may need a mark on them, so let me find that out first too. Of course, I put away all my notes just before the game on my cheat sheets, which is a really smart thing to do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I need to get marks on them first. So I'll try hack on the fly.
Since I got nothing else going on, I'll assist her. Sorry, my sheet's lagging.
So I got 5 hits opposed by what is it? Int plus firewall or logic plus firewall? Int plus firewall.
You got 5 you can add to that if you like.
Okay. Let me roll that extra 5. So 6 hits.
All right, 6 is good. It's not enough. You head over towards this target, and whether you try to extend your tentacles into them, or psychically read them, or simply put a sticker on them, a kick me sticker on their back, a small storm appears above them, a tiny little rain cloud, and whatever it is you try to do, the rain cloud rains down upon you and washes away your sticker, or swats away your tentacle, or prevents your mental control. And you can't get a single mark on this guy, even though that would be enough to mark a bank. Keeps taking his notes.
There's literally nothing I can do to this guy. He's untouchable as far as I'm concerned, matrix-wise. In fact, I'm getting out of here before he tries the same on me, and I log out.
Oh, does he have Norton antivirus?
He's got McAfee.
It's like, there's no
for a
beating
third
that.
world country, why has every Matrix target here been bullshit hard?
He's got the firewall with prostitutes and cocaine and shit. It's the McAfee version.
It's like the Supreme Leader's like an AI. That's why. He's just bored. He's like, yeah, let's topple a third world country.
We've got the terminal here. The terminal is the host, in fact. It can do. Ricochet mentioned something about accessing the
control tower.
Yeah. What did you mean by that?
Oh, just for looting purposes. I'm assuming if there's anything valuable, it's probably like that's where
Sure.
the headquarters was. That would be where the most valuable loot would be.
Well, you could probably do something to the host as well that could like make it easier to like use in the future, like leave like a backdoor or something.
Could be some great data in there.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, can Godfather run an inventory on the hangars and see what vehicles are still left?
Pretty much already listed them. We brought down one of the planes landed, didn't it?
Yeah,
one of the
got the guys surrendered.
Excellent. It was the biggest Cessna. It's basically a commercial transport vehicle. It's a big 16-seater, which is pretty damn big. You know, it's like a private jet, one of the smaller size private jets. So yeah, you guys have secured yourself a genuine private jet. Apart from that, the fire truck is probably the only vehicle really worth mentioning. But in addition to that, there are several other vehicles as well. Not in the hangars. The hangars only had 3 air vehicles, and we've already taken care of those 3. But there are still probably 4 jeeps, if you're interested in those. There are several, maybe up to 20 civilian sedans and other vehicles that have been left in the car park. They don't have any keys but a lot of vehicles don't use keys in 2075 anyway. So if you could find a way to hack those vehicles, and you've damn well got a fleet of jackrabbits and Americars and other civilian product.
Do they have many of those tiny electric cargo things?
Yep, they do. There's about 10 motorbikes, which are all dirt bikes. And sorry, what I heard what you said, and then I forgot. I lost it just as soon.
Oh, those little airport buggies that take from
yeah,
cargo.
That's right. That's what I was thinking of as well. I call them gators, and there's probably 5 gators and 5 segways. So there's so much shit. It's impossible for you to loot this stuff because there's too much. The same goes for the AKs. Yeah, you probably get as many as 46 grenades, which is at least something that we can catalog, because you can't use 46 AKs, but you can use 46 grenades, right?
Well, we want the AKs because we want to give them to the Triad as kind of back pay for our deal.
Yeah, absolutely. And guess what? They can't really use 46 AKs either. There's only fucking about 15 or 20 of them. And but yeah, I do understand that you gather as many as you can, and it's a huge haul. It's a huge haul. This is what it would be like to overrun a small, low-level militant outpost. You know, a lot of small arms, shit tons of small arms, a handful of converted civilian vehicles, a handful of industrial vehicles, in our case, the fire truck and the Cessna. Dick tons of mobile phones, or in our case, comlinks. 17 pairs of boots, most of them size 6 or size 7, because these are only little guys. Lots of uniforms. And now let's get to the windows. We can take glass panels. We can take aluminium frames. We can take the motherfucking conveyor belts. And anybody who left.
If we use enough magic, can we just lift the entire building and take it with us?
Theoretically. You want maybe someone like a Force 18 spirit to just haul let's take this motherfucker back to Bangkok. Let's just take the whole thing.
Mr. Yellow comes where's the airport? It's yeah, we looted it.
Exactly, we plundered it. Yeah.
I can imagine being this pretty. When my cat was like, "Hey guys, look, I found a Segway," and immediately crashing.
The airport in your bag of holding.
Real quick, for the sake of stats,
yeah,
there is a 16-seater fixed-wing aircraft
in
the rigger book.
Yeah,
I linked a picture of it there in Discord.
Yeah.
Is that equivalent?
It is. Yep.
No.
This one doesn't look like that, but the stats are the same, except for this one is not as good. It's not brand new. It's been sitting unmaintained for like 6 months or more, and so it's also older. It's a 10-year-old model. So in short,
like
it uses those
2057 plane.
Yeah, not quite, but basically, yeah, roughly. So its acceleration is likely to be 1 less. Its speed is likely to be 1 less. But until we actually need those attributes, you can consider it to use the same attributes as that one.
So funnily enough, 5th edition has basically no rules for what happens to your astral body if you run out of hit points. The astral form. But I looked up the third and fourth ed, and basically, if your physical body dies, you stay on the astral plane until your astral time would run out, and then you fade away.
Yeah.
If your physical body gets knocked unconscious, then yeah, you'd stay astral.
So killing a mate, like who's actually projecting, is quite a dangerous thing. So now there's like an angry spirit who has nothing left to lose.
Projected, their spirit will continue running around until their astral time limit runs out.
It's now there's a very angry like guy coming after you until like he dies.
Possibly, but there's not much an astral form can do to you unless you're also astral.
He can summon a spirit to attack you, can't he?
That's about it, yeah.
That's about Force 12 spirit appears and attacks you. It's like, yeah, it's inconvenient.
If he can, but he has to find you. He won't even know who killed him. He'll just know that his body died.
Oh, also that plane in the book has 3 heavy manual weapon mounts. Does this vehicle have any weapon mounts, or the plane?
The plane, it sure does. One on each wing, probably the underwing for dropping bombs, and one on the nose for dogfights. They're not meant to be there, but vehicle designs tend to be quite modular, right? And it's not that hard for, especially in the Shadowrun world. If you're going to be designing luxury private jets for billionaires, then you want to give them the option of putting in a retractable nose gun, right?
And the bigger the vehicle, the more room for modifications.
Where they, like, everyone pretends that's not what it's for, but that's what it's for.
Precisely, right? Gaddafi wants to put guns on his damn jet, and you're not going to stop him. You might as well accommodate.
Air pirates are a real thing. Self-defense is
important. They are. Yeah, and so are rocks.
Like that thing Elon Musk did, where he was like, where he sells not a flamethrower, but it is a flamethrower.
That's it.
They then ship it to you without the fuel, so it's not a flamethrower.
Yeah, the fucking luxury, like armored limousine in the rigger book comes pre-equipped with a minigun installed for dispersing of the poor.
Like minigun not available in Australia. Yeah. Oh, right. That's fantastic. Yeah, it's replaced with a water cannon in Australia.
All right, noted.
All right, noted. So you get the impression that there's more gear than you can possibly take, and it becomes a bit of a prioritization, and that's fine. You prioritize the tank shells, the missile launchers, Buang, and after that, your priority is guns and comlinks, AKs and comlinks.
And ammo.
And grenades, ammo.
Is there anything else specific of value that's here?
I mean, you tell me. Heaps of things, shit tons of things. Yeah.
I'm not talking about generic. I'm talking about their specific.
That's why you have to be specific to tell me, rather than me being specific to tell you.
Yeah, but like,
what are you looking for? Do you want copper wire?
We're not looking for something specific. We're looking at things and going, what's valuable?
Yeah, is there anything that's obviously valuable lying around?
Well, like new and white.
Plenty, so much. This air conditioning system, hydraulic
I'm going to take that as a no. There's nothing.
The radar dish.
Actually valuable.
Exactly. There is so much. So if you can think of anything that you think might be there, then I can say yes or no. Paintings. There are no paintings.
As an analog, when you go and loot a dragon's hoard, you don't look at the gold. You look at what are the magic items. There's no.
Man, I run a lot of games, and a lot of players will take the fucking forces if you give them the chance, right?
Right.
So, I know that, but like when you're looting a dragon's hoard, there's all of the generic treasure, and then there's the important standout magic items.
Right. See, that's not how I list the dragon hoard. I'll list the coins, then the gems, then the objects of the art, then the magic items, then the trade goods.
But and like we established, there's plenty of trade goods and coins and art and gems here. Is there any standout magic items?
Yeah,
good Buang. Search Blanc if you want to find magic items. Check her
Do we
office.
find a room with like
saying
an
specific
armory
magic
and
items,
filled with
the
armor,
D&D.
or
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. Is there anything that stands out as says, "Hey, shit, we'll be able to make a lot of money off that"?
Sure.
More than all this other crap that's overwhelming us.
Yeah.
I'm going to take it as a no. There's nothing special here, which I wasn't expecting, but I just wanted to ask.
Yeah, all right. Look, we'll go with no. We'll go with no.
I don't want to walk away and be like, "Oh, well, you didn't specifically ask if there was a nuclear weapon here, so I didn't tell you that it was there."
Roger. We did just get something specific question though. Like an armory. That's a nice specific question. Is there an armory? Yes, there is. The majority of them were already armed. They don't have a lot of reserve arms. In fact, they don't actually have enough arms for their soldiers. They've got more soldiers than they have available guns. And so a handful of soldiers were either just equipped with a pistol or weren't equipped with anything at all. Maybe a grenade if they were lucky, maybe just a comlink, and it was their job to pick up ammunitions and to drive away around the gophers and stuff like that. So is there an armory? Yes, there is. Does it have much in it? Not really. There's no grenades, but there is shit tons of ammunition. All of that ammunition is pretty much available only for assault rifles. That's basically all that there is. The pistol ammunition is mostly AK ammunition. There is a shit ton of mine. Most of them have already been placed in the ground. They don't have a lot left over, and the ones that they do left over are either old or faulty or have been dug up and are getting ready to get replanted. So there's some mines. So hopefully that answers your question about the armory. There is absolutely no armor, none at all, unless you pull it off some corpses, and you can do that because Boang's personal soldiers, the 20 or so people that were holding the airport, they have armor vests. Pretty shitty, but it's better than nothing, which is what almost all Khmer Rouge have. So maybe you think the armor's valuable. You can pick up like 20 suits of armor vest. As you can see, for me to go through each of these individually is going to take forever because I don't know exactly what it is that you guys think is important.
I wasn't expecting you to give us like a fully detailed breakdown.
Yeah, but there's no magic wand.
That's worth 100,000 and we'll take that.
Yeah. Nothing like that. No, nothing like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's what I was expecting when you couldn't answer.
Yeah. Notably, and here's something interesting that there is no cred sticks, not a single cred stick on here. In total, the comlinks themselves have a bit of money, and you're able to get a total of 2D 1,000 nuyen just by stripping each and every comlink of every last Cambodian fucking riel. But there is not a single cred stick in the facility.
One specific thing to ask for Arctic, in the ammunition, is there any machine gun ammunition?
Yeah, there is 2D 100 rounds of machine gun.
Is that light or heavy machine gun?
Light machine gun.
I've got to ask, I think I've asked before, but they don't wear uniforms, do they?
Very few of them. A handful of them do, the ones with Boang. But even those uniforms are not Khmer Rouge uniforms. They're Cambodian military uniforms.
Oh, sorry, they're basically stolen then?
You can call it stolen if you want.
Or liberated, like whatever.
Or liberated, or it belongs to them because it was given to them by the army when they were army members.
So how do Khmer Rouge identify other Khmer Rouge?
Something you can just speculate about, I suppose.
Okay.
How much assault rifle ammo was there?
How much do you want? 20,000 rounds?
All right. I could use 20,000 rounds.
I'm assuming it's still regular ammunition, by the way.
It is regular ammunition, yeah.
And I suppose the guy from Wales is not a Khmer Rouge guy? Like, no matter what you say.
Very unlikely. And on that joke, Clockwork was half English. So he stood out as being not Khmer Rouge. I mean, he was rich for one thing, and Khmer Rouge aren't rich, but he was half white. So, your question is a very valid one. How do you identify Khmer Rouge? You don't know, and maybe they don't either.
Yeah, because in our attack to allow people to say, okay, we're Kaimo rude, and they want like, okay, show us your tattoo or similar thing.
No, nothing like that. They basically look: are you malnourished? Are you 4'10"? Do you carry generic equipment given to you by your commanders? You know, the Khmer Rouge almost seem to be printed, right? You know, they almost seem to be, replicants of each other, but they're not. One face doesn't look identical to another face, not really, unless you can't tell one Khmer from the other. But
so it isn't cloning.
Doesn't look like cloning, but it could be. But you probably wouldn't bother with cloning in a country where people breed at such a rapid rate. You know, like, why do you need clones when you've got unlimited human resources? It's like the only resource that Cambodia actually has in abundance is humans. It's like the only thing that they have more of than they need is human beings.
Yeah.
Clone.
Sorry, Godfather will call his pickup truck up from where he parked it near the house and bring it in to load up with as much assault ammunition or assault rifle ammo as he can get in there.
Sure. You just put it in by the crate load, like You,
get some belts out and like strap them over the top. Like, it's a heavy duty pickup. I'm gonna get as many of these things because I can convert them. I got a lot of fucking assault rifles I use.
Yep, and you can use the gunpowder or whatever resources, the lead in other projects. So yeah, it's very useful. I certainly recognise that. Yeah.
All right, put those on the sheet. Just truckload of assault rifle ammo.
Cool. So I'll at this point confirm what we're doing. Godfather, quite clearly, is going around picking up as much as he can and putting it into the truck. Ricochet, what are you doing?
I'm lying in a mud pile, waiting.
All right. You can make a perception check. Fenway, what are you doing?
He's not. I suppose he wouldn't be looting like everyone else. I suppose he's just sort of wandering around. But
Sure.
I suppose he's more looking to make sure like nobody else is like going to like attack, like no counterattack comes.
So make a perception check.
Is that a visual perception check, Arctic?
Yeah, visual is best, but it need not be visual.
Would searching count here?
One note.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing just to note, as I'm doing this looting, I'm using the van's interior cameras to keep an eye on Blanc.
Yeah, sure. She's out, and so you
just in case.
Absolutely.
That's one success.
Yeah.
I guess I get distracted with a segue.
Flash, I feel sorry for you. Like you've just been like subjected to all of this Shadowrun back and forth for so long. What are you doing while we're taking the faucets and the pipes out of this facility, chucking them in the back of our van?
I'm probably looting shit that I get told. I'm trying to find all the drugs. Always need more drugs.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. All right. You are able to find 1D100 applications of those 3 drugs that were listed in the comlink, which I think is Kamikaze. What were the other 2, Carrick?
Jazz and Nova Coke.
Jazz and Nova Coke.
And Beta Meth, maybe.
It was. It was in like Chef Jazz, Coke, and Kamikaze.
Jazz, Coke, and Kamikaze. Yeah. So you can have a D100 applications of each of those, taken mostly off corpses, but a couple of guys have like stashes where honestly 100 hits of a drug, while it sounds like a lot, I don't know, man.
I mean, we have 98 Nova Coke.
Yeah.
But I've got. do you trust the chef to make clean drugs?
There's rules for street cooked drugs that are like ghetto.
So I guess that's a yes then.
The chef seems like someone who prides himself on his work, at least as much as he can.
Yeah,
whether
but he
it's
also
good work
prides
or not.
himself on the work as being as cheap as possible. Like
Maybe.
This isn't stuff that he's selling. This is stuff that he's.
Even at normal standard dosage or quality, though, it still comes in under that price tag they listed, I think.
Where you can get like a rifle, a pistol, like a grenade, like those 3 drugs for under 1,000 like new one.
Probably.
I think he said less than 100.
I'm looking at it. It's less than 1,000.
I mean,
Now,
either way.
pharmaceutical levels of these drugs. You can open a small chemistry, a small chemist with this stash. And finally, Mako, what are you doing during these couple of hours?
I guess I'm going to be walking my way to the airport.
There's a bike there.
Didn't we give you guys a bike? Yeah.
Oh, do we? Okay, I'll take the bike in.
Yeah. I'd left the bike there so I can make my way in if I needed, but I'm staying here, so you go for it.
Oh, you can make a perception check as well, just by virtue of the fact that you're going to the airport.
Only 3 hits.
Good stuff. So you make it to the airport without any incidents, and that's when you discover that the situation is under control, and that it's around about now that we've opened up the hangar and seen that there's nothing in the hangars. We've discovered the armory and we're starting to plunder it. Flash is going around to corpses and checking through their wallets and in their boots and wherever else they might keep their drugs in their pockets. And taking them, relieving them from the corpses. So it's a pretty long process. And yeah, sorry.
And I'm just like, hey, Maker, look, I found a Segway. As I'm just like,
just buzzing around.
Traction control fall off.
That's it.
It just turns off on its own. One of the wheels falls off.
While everyone's trying to fill their pockets with money or equivalent, I'm going to try to look for intelligence maps, journals, things like that.
Yeah.
Bong wasn't on her comlink much, so maybe she wrote down stuff a lot in physical copy and had physical maps and stuff around.
Sure.
Or maybe like a log of like what's been like coming in and out.
Oh, I got 4 tests, by the way, on the perception test.
Absolutely. And yeah, I was about to get to that, but we'll cover this instead.
No hurry.
Yeah, right. No, it's this is good. So yeah, you do discover logistical aids like that, whether they are of a business nature, for example, how much of X is coming in and how much of X is going out, or if they are more of a military nature, a navigational tool, for example, maps that lead to from here to there and everywhere. You discover both of them. So with these resources, without go ahead and writing up and giving you all the cold data beyond what you already have, you'll be able to use these as references. If you want to know how much rice they're getting, if you want to know where they're recruiting the majority of their soldiers from, if you want to know more or less what their tactics are, what their objectives are, these are questions you can ask. But a lot of the stuff you'll probably already know. Some of you, I hope, as players. For example, where is most of the fighting going on? The outskirts of Bottombong, which is the city that the Khmer Rouge more or less are in control of. What is their true objective? To drive out all resistance and take the entire country of Cambodia, which means ultimately conquering the Chinese enclave of Sihanoukville, the Wuxing enclave, and the capital city of Phnom Penh. But first, Siem Reap. Siem Reap's a much easier egg to crack by their evaluation than either of those two cities. What will happen if we lose Siem Reap? Well, if we lose Siem Reap without air support, then we're pretty severely compromised, because as far as these notes seem to indicate, the greatest threat to the Khmer Rouge lies not in Cambodia, but in its neighbours. The Vietnamese, the Thais, and of course the corporations, whose reach is obviously global. So they don't seem to fear the government very much. There's virtually no mention of you guys at all. You're pretty much an afterthought. It's pretty clear that the Khmer Rouge have this idea to rebuild the Khmer Empire, to recreate themselves as an independent society, cut off from the rest of the corrupt Sixth World. And the greatest threat to having a nation like that is thy neighbours.
The thing is, like, being an independent state, like, isn't even a bad goal. It's just like what they're deciding to do.
Mm. Cool. That could be useful. I'm not going to bother even trying to go over it all right now either. I'm just going to collect it all up.
Did they use the airport? Like, I think we've asked this before. Like, because they had pilots.
Yeah.
Did they bring in resources? Like, where did that come from?
They intended to, but it seems that every time they were getting ready to get an air delivery to Siem Reap, that air resource was required in Battambang, and so they've been kept in the field or in reserve instead.
Yeah, that is where the fighting is. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's basically right, but it's not quite right, because Boang here is trying to appeal for air support. She's trying to appeal for something better than a civilian plane. She's trying to say that two bombers and a fighter jet means that we could probably take the city of Siem Reap just by bombing the government and having the fighter to make sure that they don't get shot down. But even such a simple contingent as 3 planes is denied, partly because it seems like they want to see how the ground force is able to what they're able to achieve without air support. It's almost like the commanders testing,
like an experiment, right? Yeah, a test experiment.
That. Yeah. The stakes appear to be too high to do such a risk. Like, they've just effectively lost Siem Reap by losing the airport, but it would appear at a glance that command was willing to take that gamble in order to achieve the aims of its experiment.
Yeah, from what we've heard, once they secure Battambang, they just steamroll the rest of the country too. I mean,
maybe I'm reading too much, but with the chef's communicate, it sort of looks like Brang isn't like in charge of like the entire. She has her own like section of the army. Like, it seems like she has her own following, like within the Khmer Rouge. Does that make sense?
Quite possible, yeah. A little cult of personality thing going.
Yeah.
Not all that unusual. I mean,
she is like
general, charismatic,
like,
yeah.
like sort of inspiring, like commissar. Whether is that the case?
There's evidence to suggest that. Yeah. There doesn't seem to be any evidence here that people did not like serving under Boang. Yeah, they might not have liked the system that they were a part of. They might not have liked their lives in general. But you don't discover any reason to believe there was any animosity against her. You've got dying soldiers that you can interrogate. You've got there's no graffiti against her. These are the sort of indicators that I'm relying on.
Okay, I suppose we'll interrogate some people and see if there's like a divide between like Boang's like section of the army and like the rest of the Khmer Rouge.
They don't understand. The question is above their pay grade. You're asking a 15-year-old kid who was dying from their leg wound, and they just do what they're told.
Okay, what's their opinion of Boang then?
they respect comrade below.
Because it seems that Barang like believes in the vision, like when even like the supreme leader doesn't seem to. Have I cut out?
No, I think we were just considering that. All right. And so I will move on to the result of Ricochet's perception check. Now, I don't know if I can describe this particularly well, but it's a strange phenomenon for you to see. So if it comes across as confusing, it's confusing to Ricochet as well. Okay. As we know, this area is predominantly rice paddies. There are a few shacks, there are a few auxiliary roads, there are a few broken down tractors, and what we call berets. A beret is like a moat. There is a surprising number of berets in Cambodia. Things that look like moats. It's amazing. Every building has a fucking moat. Anyway, in between these berets and these rice paddies and the odd shack and the odd rundown tractor and whatnot, you see mud spitting up at a Ricochet. As I said, I'm going to have trouble describing this, so bear with me. At a distance of 3 kilometers, the mud sprays in a kind of, in a more or less straight line. And then it swirls and swerves like an S shape, like a snake. Imagine an invisible snake trailing through the mud and
that's exactly
goes straight again. Then it hooks around a corner, and all through this, good. All through this, it covers that. It's began at 3 kilometers away. It reaches the distance of 2 kilometers away after, I'm going to guess, a minute. Yeah, roughly a minute, maybe 53 seconds. So it covers a kilometer of territory in about a minute, and it's weaving and winding some of the time, and it's with some of the time. There's nothing there. It's just freaking spraying mud going all over the place, and you can see it leaves in its wake damage. The rice paddies are destroyed. The berets are burst, and their dam walls are leaking. Yeah, but it never actually touches a house or a ruined vehicle or anything. It just and what's more, there's no explosions. These are minefields that it's going through, and there's no explosions.
Yeah. Yep. I will relay that to the team. Looks like there's something coming. I can't make out what it is. Which direction is it coming from? Sorry, Arctic?
The opposite direction from you. So you are positioned with your back to Siem Reap, some 10 kilometers away, and your front to the airport. So it's coming from the border of Thailand, that direction.
Is there anything else that's in that direction?
Eventually, but for the most part, it's just rice paddies and rural housing, and then jungle.
It's not like the direction of Angkor Wat or anything like that?
It's not the direction of Angkor Wat. No, it's not.
Ricochet,
like something invisible. Dodging.
Could it be like a dirt spirit?
Something natured, dodging astral barriers.
Can I try to like astrally perceive it, like go into the astral?
You have to wait until
I thought you just relayed it.
It's just Ricochet at the moment, yeah.
But didn't he just come and say, "Hey, there's something incoming"?
Yeah, I'm coming.
I thought he did. I'm sorry.
I would relay it. Looks like that's why I was asking the direction, so I could pass that on. Like, look, something's coming from that direction. I'll ping it if I can on the matrix. Yeah. I've got an orientation system, so I'll like create a ping on that and send it through.
And Mako got 3 successes, and Fenway got 1. So the pair of you can both see it now that it's indicated to you. And if you guys are in the control tower, and I think Mako might be, but Fenway maybe not.
Mako was because
he was just wondering.
Bawang stuff.
Exactly. So, Mako, from your vantage point, like, what better position could there be to look down upon this? And to you, it's even more clear than it is to Ricochet. He can't so easily see the trail of destruction that it leaves behind, but you can. And what you see is not. Imagine a snake's body. It's just one big fat cylinder. That's not what you see in the damage. There is cylindrical damage, but the majority of the damage is on the edges of the cylinder. You know, the way tank tracks or a car leaves a kind of, if you know what I mean.
Quite well. Yeah, I've torn up many a countryside in it.
Either that, or I'm wondering if this Jupiter.
And this thing is dodging and weaving through.
I'll pull out my binoculars and try to zoom in, get a magnified look at it.
Godfather starts strapping himself back into his cocoon. He's like, "What are we looking at?"
Don't you have recon drones out? Mako will ask.
Yeah, I got my drone. Well, I probably got to watching those like 10 unconscious people in the tower. So yeah, I guess I'll direct it over and have it take a look.
Arctic. I'm not great at it, but I actually have a knowledge skill called magical threats. Can I make a roll on that?
Absolutely.
And I'm going to spend edge on that.
I have power zoology. Like, could there be a creature that could do something like this?
Great call. Great call. Both of them are really good calls.
5 successes.
Cool.
It's on 3.
Oh, 3
successes. Double 6s. Yeah. Them 6s help.
All right. So I'm happy for you to ask any further questions beyond what the limited information I give. Your first instinct is likely to go to Angkor. Angkor Wat is allegedly populated by Naga. Most of us know what Naga are. In fact, we encountered one in our first adventure, our first
Snake
mission.
Person?
Yes, snake people in a sense. They are awakened snakes who are so intelligent and often have telepathic powers that they can not only communicate, but they can establish fairly complex and sophisticated societies. But you don't know how big a Naga can get. You thought that, they were human-sized, and by human-sized I mean 18 feet long, 4 meters long, 5 meters long, but still human more or less. Certainly no bigger than a vehicle. This one appears like the world serpent, like the rainbow serpent. This could be the rainbow serpent, and that's when you switch to another thing that it might be, not a Naga at all, but rather a massive spirit. Perhaps it's some huge beast spirit, or even a water or an earth spirit, like a Force 12, perhaps. Force 12s are probably bigger than this. Maybe it's only Force 9 or something, but still a granddaddy among spirits. And Fenway, you would be able to guess some of those things as well, perhaps not to such a precision, but either a large spirit of some sort or some awakened serpent out of the jungle. Both of these seem possible. If you'd like to ask any clarification, that'll be fine.
I suppose I will find somewhere safe, like maybe the tower, and astrally project and see if it's dual-natured.
I have a question as well. If I were to trace a line from where I'm standing to Poipet, would this line be a general path of travel that this thing could be taking?
I guess that would be either a logic and intuition, or maybe a logic plus mathematics if you had that as a skill or something like that.
Navigation. Yeah, I've got navigation.
Of course. What better skill than navigation? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And because you've got a pretty good line of the path that this serpent has taken, you can see that it was going more or less straight until it reached a kind of border boundary around the 2 kilometre mark, 3 kilometre mark away from the airport. And that's when it started doing its intermittent swerving. And yes, it does look like it. You could practically trace a beeline to Poipet and the border.
Okay, I'll say over comms. My guess is that this is TIE reinforcements coming. Could be a Thunderbird or something with some active camo.
Is it I'll switch to thermal vision and see if it's giving off anything?
Yeah.
Perception check.
Thermal.
And the same. You can both have an extra 3 dice because you know where you're looking now. Not just looking into the horizon, but you're actually looking at the spearhead.
Would it be a sensing? Because like I'm in the air.
It could be a sensing, yeah. You could make it a sensing check.
I guess this is Johnson's reinforcements come to hold the airport for us.
0.
That's fine. That's good. You find nothing, Fenway. No trace of magic at all. But Godfather, yeah, you break through the illusion, if you will. You're able to track it. It's not a magical creature. It's not even quite a camouflaged vehicle. It's a train of vehicles. 4, perhaps 5 vehicles of roughly the size of your own, maybe a little bit smaller, that are operating under the latest technology. A camouflage mechanism that enables them to stay hidden in the visual world, as well as through infrared and ultraviolet. But what they can't obviously hide is their trail. And the trail that they leave as they churn through a swamp is pretty fucking big.
Yeah, they got signature masking.
There we go.
So, yeah.
And you're thinking.
Yeah, and chameleon coding.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, chameleon coding. Yeah, so that's what they've got.
Oh, so
but,
it's vehicles?
5 vehicles. All in a trail, all in a line.
I suppose we should message
Go
Mr. Yellow and see, like, are these the people? Like, are these the reinforcements?
So you do?
Let's get him on the line.
Well, yeah, but that was like asking the team, should we do it?
I wasn't sure. Yeah, I wasn't sure because, like, when there was a pause, we were waiting for an answer. Sorry, I should have trusted my instinct.
So Godfather thinks we should. So I guess we'll message him. Like, are those like vehicles like the reinforcements?
Just ask him how far out he is.
We got stealth aircraft air coming, or are they yours?
We have arrived. You will stand down.
Roger.
And sorry, this is Mr. Yellow we're talking to, isn't it? Not the Interior Minister?
Yeah. Interior Minister is Mr. White.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't here when we got the message. I didn't know who it came from.
Right. And so the vehicles pull up, spitting mud everywhere they go. And when they arrive, you can see that the mud has really compromised their Delta grade paint job. The bottom half of the vehicles are all coated in mud, and it's almost impossible to see from above. But when looked from side on, it's almost comical to see this half invisible car or series of half invisible vehicles pull in. No. They're ground-based vehicles. They're like really sophisticated dune buggies that are entirely enclosed. If you can imagine, like the modern APC, but then just brought down to the size of a Volkswagen or a little bit bigger. It's a bit like that. Fully contained. Much like your own, they have no windows. They only have a top-mounted machine gun turret. Recon vehicles of the highest grade. And so these 5 little reconnaissance vehicles pull in and secure various parts of the airport, the control tower, the front, the hangars, the terminal, and probably the tarmac. Soldiers, 4 soldiers jump out from each vehicle, or 3 soldiers jump out from each vehicle, one would remain in the driver's seat. And they begin securing the area, which damn well you better believe includes pointing their guns at each of you and locking you on as targets. What do you do?
So as they approach, I'll give them like a casual salute.
Arctic, is that about what you're talking?
Sorry, I'll deal with Ricochet first. What did you say?
I said I put a picture in the
Discord.
Yeah, what you're talking.
Like that, but with more bottom end, so not quite so spacey, a little more bulky, but basically that, yeah, high tech fucking shit that is not available to civilians.
They're just waiting for the picture to load.
Yeah, so a cross between those two, yeah. Carrick, you had a question?
I mean, it's more just like as they approach, I'll just give them like a casual salute.
All right, a salute is good. You remain locked on, but you're not being fired upon.
And then I guess I'll try to message Godfather. Like, it probably won't work too well. And just like go to him, like, what are we doing? What's the plan?
Wait for Johnson.
Sounds good. I guess small talk with the guys pointing guns at us. Like, if they'll talk at all to us.
Start my way down to the ride. Probably go to the pickup truck.
So how did these ground vehicles fly in?
They didn't fly in, they were driving through the swamp.
The highway pretty much leads straight from Siem Reap to Poi Pet, right on the border. And we had intel that the Thai military was mobilizing there from Blancs Comlink. So they probably just raced down the highway, then went off-road once they got near enough to head straight to us.
Precisely. And they're 5 kilometers away, they cut cross-country. And then when they were 3 kilometers away, they started... they slowed down so that they wouldn't run over any mines. High-tech mine detecting gear was quite
I'm assuming that's what the lateral movements was going around mines.
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah, when you're using, technology, cutting-edge technology from the 2070s to try to deal with 1970s tactics, you've got a lot of aces up your sleeve to provide an edge. All right, so here they are. They secure the airport. They point their guns at you, and you've given the instruction already to stand down. What does that mean to any of you? Do you disarm yourselves? Mako is leaving the control tower and coming down to the ground, so I can understand.
I suppose my guy doesn't look armed. He's just got a pistol like in his coat pocket. So I suppose I suppose he'll ask for clarification to like what the nearest soldiers like. Do we give up our guns or do we just sort of stop doing what we were doing? Like, what does this mean?
What's the procedure here?
Yeah, like, I mean, this does. I mean, if we don't. I mean, this will help in multiple things because if we don't know the procedure, it'll make them feel like they're in charge if we're like seeking instruction.
Fenway turns every scene into like something out of a college comedy movie. I love it.
Well,
so
Johnson told us to stand down, right, when we contacted him.
That they were he there said we're here, stand down.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Pelgrad?
Hey, sorry. I had a business thing come up. Please forgive me.
Oh, good.
No.
You haven't missed a ton.
But
we basically just thoroughly looted the airport.
Good job. I expected that of you guys. You made me proud.
We still haven't thoroughly looted the Orc yet, though.
Look, I was kind of hoping that'd be done, but that being said, who are the people that just came out of the airport?
Like 5
military, it looks like.
off-road vehicles have showed up. Mr. Johnson's just said I have arrived, so apparently he's with these guys, but a bunch of... Yeah, Mr. Yellow has said I've arrived, so apparently he's with these guys, but right now just a bunch of soldiers have hopped out and they're like aiming guns at us, and we've been told to stand down by Mr. Johnson.
I have arrived could just mean his soldiers, like not necessarily him.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly, his English wasn't the best.
Trey will take out a big stogie. Yeah, I didn't want to I didn't want to fuck you guys in case you got in a fight or something. So yeah, jump in the car. Is it too loud?
Well, are you in a car?
It was for a second there. Yeah, he is. But all right, so apparently Pelgrad lights up a joint. Or Trey, rather.
Stogie with a cigar.
Look, Trey's not giving up shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not gonna fucking start capping him. But if they want his fucking weapons, they can come get them. But I doubt that's gonna end up well for them. Or him. He doesn't really care.
So I guess what was the procedure then? Or do they still not respond?
Hands on your head.
What was I didn't hear that?
Hands on your head.
Oh, okay. So that.
I'm going to send a comlink message to Mr. Yellow to tell him to call to leash his dogs before things go south.
To persuasion, or it probably would it be negotiation or bargaining? Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, you're unlikely to have it. Make a persuasion.
I've only got etiquette, so yeah.
Etiquette's good. Etiquette's good.
What do I make of all this from where I am, Arctic?
Well, I'm glad that you asked, because they are not securing your position. As far as you can tell, they are unaware of your position, of your existence. So you just see these 5 semi-visible vehicles come and secure various parts of the airport in a tactical manner that is better than what I can imagine. But as I said, I imagined it would be the control tower, the hangars, the terminal, the front gates, and perhaps another one in reserve on the tarmac or something like that. They pour out of their vehicles with their guns raised, with their visuals locked on, with all of their smart assistants fully engaged. This looks like a military operation to secure an enemy objective. This is hostility, but they're not firing. And given that they have top-mounted turrets, if they wanted to mow you all down, then it probably would have just been easier to do that without getting out of the vehicles in the first place.
Can I make a small unit tactics roll to explain how competent these guys are?
Absolutely.
Ooh, only one.
You can only guess that based on the quality of their gear alone, they must be somebody, because the average Thai soldier does not get around in an invisible car.
Yeah.
Are they speaking Thai or are they speaking Khmer?
Thai. Or English.
I am turning off the broadcasting on all of my wireless.
You are.
Ditto.
You are now.
I suppose there's multiple soldiers' guns pointed at me. I guess I will do hands on head, but can I try to lighten the mood with some comedy?
Tell me what your comedy is.
I suppose you'll just try to small talk, but work in some really cheesy jokes.
All right, go ahead and make a cheesy comedy roll.
I have performance comedy.
Performance comedy.
2.
Brilliant. Humor must truly be universal, and laughter must genuinely be the greatest medicine, because he lowers his gun. They stop pointing their guns at you. They take their locks off.
Because the things are just tensions lowering, things are getting better, I guess.
Tensions are lowering, not just with this guy, but with all of the soldiers. Your comic genius must have been picked up by his comlink and transmitted to the rest of them, because almost simultaneously they all lower their weapons after you tell your joke.
It's not possible that Mr. Yellow just told them to calm down.
You just got them all killed, Fenway.
No, I just have a way with these.
He was in you the whole time.
You
just had to believe in yourself.
Exactly.
I'll be like that person from the commercial where I just give them a Pepsi.
Yes, that's right.
Approaches the fucking like SWAT line or the riot police or whatever.
All right, so that's good. So from my perspective, I've seen these guys jump out, point guns at everyone, and now they've lowered them.
And now they've lowered them. That's right, yeah. And you remain completely, as far as you can tell, undetected. All right. Congratulations, Mr. Yellow. Transmits to, I guess, every comlink that he has registered. Whether that's only the Godfather or everyone who was at the original meeting.
I think everyone just turned their comlinks off except Mako. And probably
Right.
Fenway.
I didn't either.
Probably has his on because he didn't realize it was still on.
Good call. Good call. So maybe even talks to Fenway then. And Mako would be picked up as well.
Yeah. Is it possible to have your comlink set to receive signals but not broadcast them?
You can set it to silent mode, but
like
you're still detectable then.
Yeah.
It's just harder.
Yeah.
And I think you've got to be within 100 meters to detect a hidden icon, don't you?
Yes and no. You can be further away to detect it. You just have to know exactly what you're looking for, really.
Yeah. Once like all of his wireless is turned off, Godfather will then like manually switch his implanted comms wireless back on.
Congratulations, Mr. Yellow says. You have achieved your objective much faster than I could have anticipated you would have. You have my admiration.
We try. Should we leave the airport to your forces now?
Yes. We will take things from here.
With your permission, can we make use of one of these planes for a resupply run back to Bangkok?
What are the specifics of this vehicle that you wish to acquire?
It'd be that Cessna out on the tarmac.
He gets some soldiers to go and have a look at it. Well, please give my men an hour to evaluate over 10 minutes actually. Give my men 10 minutes to evaluate the vehicle.
Yeah, it's not in very good shape, but I figure I can patch it up and use it for resupply runs while we're operating here.
A private jet seems to be quite a reward that one would ask for. But I am in a generous mood.
Also doesn't help you if we can't resupply.
You see him nod over the comm. You notice that he's wearing camouflage fatigues.
Does he have any rank insignias on his fatigues?
He's got shit tons of them. He has 4 little stars going down the sides.
I just figured out.
He's obviously got that big rectangle of like colourful things that.
I spoke wrong. He only has 2 stars, the pathetic fool.
He's also got that big rectangle of like dozens of like
Why are
medals.
we working for him? We don't talk to the monkey. We talk to the organ grinder.
Sorry, Fenway, what were you saying?
I assume he's also got that thing like dictators always have, where they've got like that big like rectangle, like loads of like medals on it.
I know, because he's in the field. He's not fucking around. He's like, he's on the job. He's got his crew cut. He's got his clean shaved chin, and but no, he's not wearing his medals and his purity seals and shit.
Is he actually here, Arctic? Like, is he sitting in one of the buggies or something, or is he?
How would you know?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like,
he's talking to us on comlink though.
So we could just see him in a photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it like Star Trek? Like he's got a camera in front of him? Is like a headrest behind him or something?
That's correct. There is a vehicle headrest behind him, and yeah, so he appears to be in a small enclosed pod.
I think these things are basically like BMW Teufelkatzes, by the way, which are like armored SUV or armored SUVs, basically,
Right.
for like off-road, and they have inbuilt flamethrowers.
Very nice.
Because why the fuck not?
I suppose since things have relaxed, I'll like sort of wander off, try to find someone else, like in the party, sort of ask, like, do we tell them about Bwang? I physically go to them and ask instead of like not use comms or anything. Probably Godfather.
And while you're doing that, the troops aren't idle. Some of them, as said, are checking out the airport. Half of them are maintaining a gun line at their own invisible vehicles, which are now visible. There'd be no need to operate to waste the battery, and the rest of the soldiers are basically investigating in pairs, investigating the facility. They discover your hoard of weapons. They discover the tank, and they're doing more than cataloging, and they're basically claiming them.
We brought that tank with us,
but we got the ammo.
Well, they
also
they can,
have the rigger driving the tank.
You do indeed, you do, and he could very easily just shoot them at this moment if he wanted to. So it is a bit of a tense situation, but I should tell you that that's the way the soldiers behave. When they find something, it's theirs, and when they find 1,000 AKs or whatever they found, hundreds of AKs, 100 AKs, it's they think it's theirs. No, even if it's in your truck.
I mean, they're probably just following some sort of protocol, aren't they?
If they walk up to my truck and start inspecting it, I will drive it the fuck off. Or not the APC, but the Gopher, the pickup truck with the AKs. Like the cab is loaded with AKs and the bed is loaded with ammo.
Johnson immediately queries the action. As soon as like a vehicle starts off, he says, "What are you doing? This is making me nervous."
I don't want your boys stealing my AK ammo. They're claiming everything they touch out there, and that's my truck.
Did he say something? He cut out pretty quickly for me.
Civilian.
What?
Stand down, civilian.
Call me a civilian?
You will stand down.
All right, I'll stop the truck.
Good man. We are civilized people. I respect what you have achieved here. You have made me very happy with your actions and your speed, your skill. But all that is here is mine, and you cannot take it away from me. Perhaps we can come to an agreement. You asked for the plane, and I gave it to you. Could you not also ask for what is in your truck?
He hasn't given us the plane yet.
Yeah. And I presume the Thai military and their cloak vehicles doesn't need 100 AK-47s and some assault rifle ammo.
We do.
But by all means, if you do.
But just something along those lines. We thought it was so worth. Like we thought it was so worthless that we didn't think it was important to ask.
Yeah.
See, well, you were mistaken. It is important to me.
Then
everything is.
You have a most sincere apologies.
I forgive you. After all, your cultures and mine are different. Your people are much more free-willed than I am used to dealing with. I accept that you have made a mistake here. I am willing to forgive it. What will you be using so many weapons for? What use have you for them?
We can arm insurgents in our fight against the Khmer Rouge. make our numbers multiplied, multiplier of effectiveness. It's a very common guerrilla tactic. Arm and train the indigenous people, have them fight with you, for you.
Very well. You have something to say? He directs towards Godfather.
It's also incredibly difficult to find ammo out here, but we currently have the facilities to remanufacture that assault rifle ammunition to basically whatever other kind we need.
Have you secured any allies among the local people?
The Triad family so far. We're working on others.
Interesting. Foreigners. An interesting tactic.
Clockwork.
If you have the opportunity, you may try the hill tribes. The Khmer are only one ethnicity within this country. There are 75 other ethnic groups. They often resent the fact that this country serves only the Khmer. You may keep the weapons and the ammunition and the plane.
I've got some intelligence for you as well. I'm in the process of digitizing it for myself, but I'll leave the physical copies with your men.
Is that Matrix Watcher on the net yours?
What do you mean?
Is it still there?
Yeah.
I'll send it, point it out to him on the net. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a tech guy, and yeah, he comes along and tries to check it out, and Humphrey Bogart stops reading his newspaper, puts it in the waste paper bin, and opens a door and exits the node. Who was that? What was that?
Thought it was you. Someone rocking mil-spec Matrix hardware.
Yeah, we've noticed that some elements of the Khmer Rouge seem to have access to extremely sophisticated Matrix capabilities, mostly to do with observation.
Is it corporate?
It has to be.
It was stronger than
who
I
else
could
would come up with
deal
it. It's bleeding edge.
That's the United Nations.
Could be.
I thought they hated tech. Why do they have the best?
The United Nations?
No, I mean the Khmer.
Because hypocrisy is the mark of a villain.
We don't know that was the Khmer Rouge either. If it was the Khmer Rouge, they did a very shitty job on protecting their airport when they could have stolen the tank from us, bricked Godfather's ride. I mean, all kinds of things. If they had good Matrix security or assets like that, they would have stopped this siege in an instant.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, they seem to have incredibly sophisticated Matrix assets, but only use them for observation and like snooping.
Do you think it's because they want to like mask their true power, or do you think they've only got like the bits that let them see? Maybe they don't know how to like create for other things than observation.
No idea.
Like if I just like find a telescope, it doesn't mean I can like make another one.
Done very well, and I appreciate all of your efforts. I will allow you to store your vehicle here, and you may fly it into Thai airspace. I will send through some access codes that will enable you to land at Don Muang Airport with only 24 hours notice.
That is generous.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson.
You may now leave the area.
All right.
Well, so I'll get into Godfather's vehicle, I guess.
Yeah, since the pickup truck is loaded with AKs.
Yep. And the bed is loaded with ammo, so yeah, we're all getting back in the party bus, which by itself is pretty big. But I imagine like the back half of the vehicle is mostly workshop, so I imagine we just mostly filled that. So the up front cab should still have seats free, though one of them is like a hog-tied Wong.
So I guess after, I suppose, since we're all back together, I'll ask if anyone got hurt. Injured? I guess not.
Just a bit. Small thing.
Yeah. Trey got necked.
Does he need any of my magical healing?
I think I'm 2 down. I rolled really well with Savior Medkit.
What do these guys do with the tank, by the way?
I'm glad that you asked. You must leave the tank here.
I mean, makes sense. The Khmer Rouge are going to do a counterattack pretty soon.
But I mean, do they start what do they do to secure it immediately? I'm assuming they do something.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. They would probably scan it first and then jump inside it. If they did, they would soon discover the kill switch. They would switch it over to manual operation, and they would park it. Once it's parked in a hangar, they would then go over it with a fine-tooth comb.
Yeah. You mind if I keep the 20 rounds of ammo we found? I was planning on repurposing them for armor-piercing munitions.
Make a negotiation or a bargaining roll.
All right. I guess I'll edge this.
Okay. You may keep half.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. It'll open up the rear hatch and take out. How many did we have? I think it was 20, so we'll take out 10.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right. He cuts the transmission.
So let's head back to the workshop and get all this stuff unloaded, huh?
Yep.
All right. It's a pretty good haul.
Oh yeah, what happened? We still have Blang, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll set up would it be a cell? How are we dealing with that?
We currently got her she's unconscious, can't cast, and even if she could, she's got cuffs that would tase the bejesus out of her if she did. So we can basically keep her a prisoner indefinitely until we want to interrogate her.
Yeah, you could keep her for 2 years if you wanted to. If you have a IV drip to feed her with.
Yeah. And I got a rating 6 med kit, so I do.
Yeah, just keep her under sedation, basically in a coma. Do that.
Blight doesn't knock you out, does it?
No.
It could.
But that's not what it's used for.
But injected, it doesn't. If you make it a skin absorbent mist, it does. It makes you take drain, so that can knock you out. But what I did is inject her with it, which just basically removes your ability to do anything magical for a certain number of hours. Yeah, and she's wearing cuffs at the moment that they have a mana sensitive material in them, So if she tries to astrally perceive or cast anything, it'll detect it and activate a taser and do like 15 stun until she stops. Anyway, yeah, I guess we load up the dirt bike, the gopher, and the APC, and we all head back to the compound.
You as you drive down the road.
Important note:
10-kilometer road that'll take you from the airport to the town. First, yep, yeah, you're still out there. Yep. Oh, I seem to be lagging. I'll wait for the spike to recover. All right, seem to be back. So yeah, as you've left Ricochet out in the field, and the rest of you drive on back to the to town. The first 5 kilometers are pretty much empty. There's virtually no one out there, and then you start to see farmers out in their fields and buffaloes with the plows and the odd tractor and kids playing, kicking soccer balls around in amongst the rubbish and the flooded plains. And then when you're about 3 kilometers out of town, buffalo. There's like 20 buffalo blocking the fucking road. You've got a guy trying to herd them across the road, but they just won't get out of the way. And there's people trying to get past with their little scooters, and people in their half tractors just waiting until the blockage passes. And there you guys are, rocking along back away from the airport. See him reach traffic jam. What are you gonna do? Yeah.
Sorry. On the way out from the airport, I'll drop the bike off for Ricochet. But yeah.
And so you've given the bike to Ricochet, and so Ricochet, do you leave on your bike?
No, I'm staying to watch what they do.
Yeah, cool. I thought you might stay. So there's a bike there now for you, but
yeah,
you remain completely in position, and the party finds itself behind a wall of buffalo ass.
You break up for a second there, Arctic. All I heard was buffalo.
The party finds itself behind a wall. Well, that's all you can find. I'll wait until the spike passes.
So, like, how do buffalo like herd moves? Like, is there like an in charge buffalo? Are they all following like one in particular, or are they all just sort of going in the flow?
Just milling in the middle of the road.
Yeah, that's right. They're just milling around like a mob.
Fuck it, I
How
got
do
a
they react
plate.
to
I
a
don't slow down.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That's a lot of weight.
We had
I did the math. I could drive through a forest with this thing. Yeah. This thing is a ram
There's no
plate,
point in having a ram plate if you're not going to use it.
Exactly. Like.
I will say that will not endear us to the locals, but neither was with the flashbang I was going to pop out. So fuck it.
I mean, I was going to use like influence on like, I guess the alpha buffalo, see like if they all follow it that way.
Sure.
Would that even work?
Godfather begins blaring the song "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way" from the
I have
truck's external speakers.
Knowledge critters. Like, could I try that? See, like, is that how buffalo like move?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So there's a lot going on here, but yeah, go ahead and make your.
I know a lot about buffaloes.
Yeah, that's not exactly how buffalo work, but you do understand what it would take to clear them out of the way. A bit of loud noise, like what we've just provided, is probably a good start. Just getting in there with a whip or giving a kick in the bum might help out. So make an intimidation check, Godfather, with an extra 3 dice, because it's not really a bad idea blaring him with some pretty hardcore rap.
Yeah.
So I guess I just give them the license, like just sound the horn, like they should move.
Yeah.
Fucking cheat. Sorry.
No worries. No worries.
A story about shooting a cow.
You can see that there are a couple of girls taking selfies, and fathers filming their sons kicking the soccer ball around out the front of the. You call it a yard, but it's not really a yard. It's more like just a lump of dirt with a bunch of rubbish and chickens and shit in it. People have got there, filming their daily lives the way people do. And Godfather, you tell these cows to move, and they move out of the way. And Trey's a little bit disappointed because there was no flashbangs and there was no bulldozing, but you managed to get the cows out of the way and you clear the crowd, and they kind of film you going past a little bit, but it's not really a very interesting spectacle. The cows pass and you drive through and head over to the compound. You reach the compound. G9 and the members of the Knights Errant let you in. They're kind of enthusiastic, right? They're behaving a little bit like puppies themselves as they wait to see how everything went.
The triumphant heroes return.
Exactly right.
Who's behaving like puppies?
Well, the Knights Errant, they're not exactly, but they're acting a little bit unprofessionally. It's because they've never really liked you guys very much, and you've never really had anything to do with each other. You kind of just share the same compound, like two divisions that work for the same local government council, right? They're this sector of college, and you're that sector of college. But you come home with the fucking football trophy, and suddenly the nerds are like, "Yeah, guys, so cool." A bit like that. That's an over exaggeration, but there's a definite camaraderie there from Knights Errant that hasn't been there in the past. They respect you.
Finally, they can get more ammo.
Yeah, right.
Like we just opened up an airport. They could finally fucking resupply.
Like,
no wonder they're happy.
Exactly right. That's exactly it. When you guys open up the van and fucking guns literally fall out of the door, they're just like, "Fuck me! Are you gonna start a revolution of your own?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, probably. Fuck yeah!" It's that sort of locker talk that is happening for the very first time.
Trey will call his regiment to attention.
They salute.
And then he will start handing out AKs to each member.
The 12 girls, she can barely hold back the tears of delight, but most of them remain professional.
It's like a graduation ceremony.
Exactly. It's like graduating grade 10. That's exactly right.
Okay.
You guys need me to tab that out. Just let me know how much it is.
We have enough guns for it. There's no doubt about
it. Yeah. I just put like 100 AKs on the war chest.
That's good. 100 is a nice number.
How many child soldiers do you have again?
I think it was 20.
I thought it was 20, yeah.
Alright. And we have like an extended truck bed full of AK ammunition, so you can give them like 4 clips apiece or whatever the fuck you want.
That's exactly what I'll do. And I will explain their new duties about helping Knight Errant keep people the fuck out of the compound.
Absolutely. They show you how they've been making armor out of devil rat skins. It's like patchwork armor. Patch. Different furry colors of rat.
They've got tires, scrap metal from the junkyard too to add on.
Yep. That's it. It's totally post-apocalyptic kids with their spiky shoulder pads and rubber tire chest gear.
Godfather will pop out of his pod and ask G9 if Night Errant's set up anywhere here as like a holding cell.
There's an old refrigerator that they can put them in. Yeah.
like a
big
standing
fridge.
one,
It's
or
like
a room? Like
yeah, that's right, an industrial one with the sliding door. Yeah, big enough.
okay.
2 meters, 2 meters, 2 meters, something like that. A big cube, refrigeration cube.
And I
That
suppose
works.
we'll
They
turn
don't
it off
mind us
so it isn't
using it.
freezing inside.
It doesn't work. It hasn't worked for years. They'll
Okay,
just
then.
have to open the door every now and then to make sure that air gets in because there's no air.
Do you want me to put the kids on that?
We could just drill a hole.
Oh no, I meant like I can have them quit fucking around with the perimeter, and have them just guard her and the fucking dwarf.
I don't know if it's a good idea to
They have
put
previous soldiers.
Yeah, like a communist ideologue in touch with a bunch of former communist child soldiers.
Have you heard of Mark's kids? Mark's was a really. Have you ever heard of Mark's kids? He was a really interesting guy. He was just like you in some way.
Hey kids,
I need to get some
sharing.
Talking about Mark,
I need to get some fucking Rambo movies out here.
I think I've said this before, but about Mark, like we had a temporary teacher in sociology, and he told us that we were Marxists because we were young.
He didn't call you Stalinists.
No, we were Marxists. Everyone in the room.
Be a Marxist.
Don't feel very communist, but okay.
But that is a good fucking. That's a good idea.
All right.
I will keep them on fucking dwarf duty.
Yeah. Godfather will tell Clockwork it's probably a good idea for you to stay in the vehicle just because this place is crawling with Knight Errant.
Oh, we have the airport now, and we have a plane. We could fly his family out pretty soon.
Yep. Now that we have the airport secure and access to a plane, we'll be planning a resupply mission to Bangkok soon. You've been very helpful and cooperative. We'll be putting you on it.
I'll be glad to get out of here.
Yeah.
So, are you planning on opening a similar business in the UK or something?
Yeah. I think I'm going to get far away from the city as I can. Head out somewhere remote. I don't know where. Alaska or maybe one of the Sioux states or something like that. Somewhere deep out in the forest. Do some mining. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Wales is pretty
maybe
good
go up
this
the
time.
Klondike. Go up the Klondike and dig for gold.
Wales is pretty good this time of year.
Sure. Wales might be fine. Sounds like a really interesting place. Lots of fairies and shit.
Yeah, it's quite a few elves, if I remember.
Yeah, elves. Great people.
Yeah, he might not fit in too well there.
Yeah. As we're talking, Godfather's going to, I'm presuming it's him and Clockwork alone in the vehicle, right?
Sure.
Yeah, he's gonna quietly close and activate the chem seal just in case. And he's also going to activate the area jammer he has installed.
And presumably you do this by pressing a couple of buttons, and then the chem seal rises. And
wireless commands.
Wireless commands. Okay, well that makes him even more nervous.
Wait, do you just wait for me to walk off? You just close the doors. I'm still outside talking to him.
Just like yeah, he's just talking and like the doors close basically.
How big
and
of
I mean,
an
this
area
thing's
does
built
the
like a
jammer
submarine. Every time it closes, like it seals.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the jammers or the smart jammer is currently attached to his drone, which is sitting in the ceiling.
That's pretty
How
rude.
big
I
of
was
an
like
area
talking to.
How big of an area does it cover, though?
It's rating 6. Let me double check. Yeah, it's a smart jammer, so I can set it to not interfere with any devices I designate. Its rating is reduced by 1 for every 5 meters from the center.
I'll be back in about 2 minutes. I won't be long enough.
Roger.
Okay, so just to kind of like, so I was talking to him and you just closed the door.
Were you?
That's what it sounds like.
I was asking questions and then you closed the door.
My bad. I thought you were. My bad.
I mean,
so yeah, you're
do you
inside
think
the vehicle then?
Do you think Fenway is using like a comm link to talk to someone? That's Destiny.
Fair enough.
Because I'd just like to clarify, because I've had this situation before in games where like we had big arguments. Because like, oh, you're standing there. It's like, no, I wasn't.
Okay, my bad.
So I'm just making sure I understand what's happening.
It's cool. I got antidotes.
I mean, I might. So I'm in the vehicle now.
Yeah, if you want to be.
Because I thought I was like standing outside, but I can be if you want to. Like,
I mean, either works. I mean, he just needs to understand what narratively happened.
I thought what was happening is I was stood outside talking inside to Clockwork, like at the door.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't want to like just completely cut you off. So yeah, if you want to be inside, yeah, absolutely, you're inside. Just be warned, you're maybe about to get gassed.
I mean, I assumed that was about to happen.
Just breathe deep and let it go.
This shit's skin absorbent, man.
Would antidote or detox do anything?
Yeah.
So I have both of those spells.
Yeah.
Antidote would for sure. Detox maybe not.
Yeah. Problem with this
probably
shit
not
is,
for detox.
Problem with this shit is it's instant, so you'd have to cast it preemptively. Or is it instant? Actually, may take a couple rounds. I can't entirely remember. It's probably important for me to check. Slab.
I'll put the description of the spell in, Steve. How do you do that?
Slab takes 2 rounds,
which means you could.
Means they get 2 or 3 actions before it takes effect.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You'll use it after you've been poisoned, but before you make the toxin resistance test, based on the speed of the toxin.
Mm-hmm. And you'd be able to use it in this case.
And I guess does it have a smell? Like,
does what have a smell?
Like the poison you intend on using? Is it like a tell?
Slab.
Or then immediately passing out?
Not intend to use, and prepared to use. Difference.
A subtle but important difference.
Exactly.
How he asks when he notices that you're basically sealing him in here.
And Fenway.
I want to have a private conversation. This place is crawling with knight errant.
Fenway in here as well?
Yeah, like I was talking to him and like the door just closed.
So does that mean that he's in the front seat? You're in the driver's seat with Godfather. Clockwork's where? Passenger seat or back or what?
I think we're both in the back.
The passenger seat.
Yeah, and where's Fenway?
I mean, I'm not sure exactly, but I was talking to Clockwork when it happened.
You could be in like if it's a van, then you could be in the back of the van just talking through the,
yeah,
from
yeah,
the
that makes
van.
sense.
Yeah, it's not really a van. It's
not a van.
It's not a very analogous vehicle. It's like an armored bus almost.
I assume it's like a room with like your cocoon, and then like that was sort of it.
Yeah, you're probably like if you're sitting
separated by a cage or something like that, so you can take prisoners. Like the military have those sort of prison vehicles.
Not necessarily.
No. Okay, tell us.
Sorry, it's almost like a World War II bomber, where it's like a long corridor. There's like gun ports with like seats facing outward and like a rig to attach the weapon. And the rear of the vehicle is sort of there's no seating. There's sort of storage and workbenches and that kind of shit.
So it's like a very tight little personal fighter ship.
Yeah, let me pull up a rough.
I just sort of assume it sort of look like that, where like the top one is like the cocoon and the bottom one's like his work stuff.
The core vehicle is basically an armored RV, essentially. So if you can kind of think that one that's been refitted as a troop carrier and gunship.
Winnebago.
Yeah.
This isn't like it's obviously not a school bus, but this is kind of a good way to think about the layout at least. There's 2 more side doors, but other than that,
size of a minivan, isn't it? It's not a big.
It's an armored truck.
It's bigger than a minivan.
Yeah. Right, an armored truck's like the size of a school bus, yeah, or is it smaller than a school bus?
Yeah,
I think school bus is close, maybe a little smaller, but close.
Yeah, it's several body ratings bigger than a GMC Bulldog.
It's a very distinct vehicle.
Yeah,
but especially out here in Buttfuck, where people ride scooters and drive little Corollas.
Yeah, like it is. You could never mistake it for a civilian vehicle.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously, it doesn't have like windows and shit. Like.
So he's probably sitting like one seat behind, like not actually right next to you, but just one seat behind you, diagonally, with you in the driver's seat. And Fenway, could be anywhere. The guy is fiddling with one of the machine gun turrets when suddenly all the window panels come down, or the door auto locks, or whatever the visual looks like as this thing enters its chem seal mode. He says, "What's going on, pal?" You reply something like,
I look confused too. I was like, I don't.
Yeah. You don't want Night Errant to hear. And that sort of calms him down, but not really. So the guy is clearly on edge at this point now. But what's an orc going to do?
Like Godfather's, I feel like I don't think he'd want to do anything to like hurt us. I think.
Yeah. Well, first off, while we're here, I don't particularly want Night Errant to know that I've brought the guy who used to have this compound weaponized back into it. But is there anything you still have here, personal possessions, that you or your family would want to take with you? If you make a list, I can hunt for the things around here and put them together for you to take.
Can I ask my wife? I mean, this is really her sphere of things.
All right, fair enough. I'll call up the triad guys we've got kind of babysitting the family and ask them to put the wife on the line.
Sure. Maybe she can make a list or something.
Yeah, just ask her to put a list together of everything here that she'd want to take with her. Nothing outrageous, please.
Yeah, sure. I'll keep it under control.
Can you take the nuclear bomb that's in the freezer?
He forces a laugh.
I'm hilarious.
Also, so tell me exactly, what's your plan once we drop you off in Bangkok?
Well, thinking of going back to see my parents, just to, haven't seen them for a couple of years. My youngest kid hasn't seen him since he was wearing nappies last time they met. I'll go and see my folks, spend a couple of weeks with them, and have a bit of a big think. Thinking of heading somewhere, doing some mining, maybe down to Ghana. Maybe across to the Klondike, or down into Amazonia somewhere. Somewhere remote, somewhere heavy. Do a bit of digging, look around for precious metals and stuff. That's what I'm thinking. Leave the missus and the kids back under the protectorate, back in England, and head somewhere. Heavy industry. Try to, get a bit of a business running.
Do something less dangerous?
Yeah, it's plenty dangerous doing that too, opening a remote mine in a glacier or in a jungle. Plenty of dangers there too. Don't worry about that.
You got the funds to get yourself out of Bangkok?
Pop's pretty rich. He's gonna pay whatever it takes to get to see his grandkids again. Now, don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah. When I get to Bangkok, we'll have tickets.
All right. Sounds like you're pretty set up then. This is one of those sort of good news, bad news situations. You understand I'm a rigger, somewhat like yourself, but unlike you, I use my rig for life or death situations, and you're about to go and use your rig for civilian labor.
Dragons in the forest, you know that, right?
Pardon?
There's dragons in the forest, you know that, right?
And perhaps you should pursue a different line of work.
What are you trying to say, pal?
What I'm saying is we've gone through great pains to take you alive and be humane and extract you from the country. As compensation, I'll be swapping my control rig with yours.
That, pal.
What was that?
Fuck that, pal.
All right. Well, I tried to be polite about this, and I triggered the gas in the
telling me you're ripping out my central nervous system. You call that polite?
I've activated the gas.
You've activated the gas. All right, he has activated the pistol at his holster hip. So I guess we roll for initiative.
I didn't give him a pistol.
Doesn't he? It's Shadowrun. He carries a pistol around with him. Have you? But
you could keep him a prisoner and then put him on.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He's a prisoner. If he hasn't had access to a gun, then he hasn't had access to a gun.
Yeah.
Then
he can try to.
Where was he
the most
sitting in the
obvious
car?
thing. He's sitting next to several guns strapped into the gun ports. You could try to get one of them out.
We also
strapped in, so
we also filled the car with AKs and other firearms that we salvaged.
He's close enough that he'll just lean over and break your neck.
Yeah. Certain is welcome to try.
I guess so.
So how fast is the toxin then, now that it's important?
2
2
rounds.
rounds.
So I can attempt the spell twice then?
Yeah.
If you really want, you can attempt it 4 times or possibly 6 times, depending on how well you roll initiative.
Oh, okay.
Not 2 passes, but 2 rounds.
Yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
After this, though, I'm not just taking his rig.
8.
Where's my token? There it is.
There's like a spell that like helps you like that avoids you suffocating in gas, and I was like, I'm never going to need that spell, so I didn't take it.
Do you ever try to click on the button, the number in the turn order, and it won't let you click on it no matter how many times you try? Does that ever happen to you? There. It happens to me all the fucking time. All right, Godfather. So he launches himself at you, and you can see that he's, going for your head, neck, or shoulders.
Yeah. Well, he probably, the gas isn't immediately obvious. It probably gets a round off before he realizes something's up. Unless he just attacks me outright when I say I'm going to be swapping my rig with his.
There's probably like a noticeable hiss as it rushes into the thing or whatever, but
I know that it was. I basically took 2 gas grenades and hid them inside the AC system.
Have you ever seen a gas grenade go off?
He's lunging at you. Yeah, it's too like you've locked him in here. You've told him how it's going to be. You're telling him that you're going to rip out his central nervous system. He overreacts. He overreacts.
Fair enough.
Underreacts, depending on whose point of view you're looking at it.
I'm glad someone else sees it from a different perspective.
It seems like a very normal reaction to that.
Good. If someone wants to put me in a lot of pain and steal my most valuable object.
Argue against this.
Fair enough.
I think it's just Godfather. I think everyone else is.
Yeah. Whatever.
He launches himself at you. What do? You've got the initiative.
Yeah. Godfather will maneuver past him to the other side of the vehicle with his movement. He has the option to spend initiative to basically take an attack of opportunity as I move out of his reach.
Well, sorry, you're at the driver's seat, right?
Yeah,
And where are you moving
to? Towards the rear of the vehicle.
So you sort of get up out of the driver's seat of the bus and then push past him and then run past Fenway up towards the back, right?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily have a driver's seat. It has a driver cocoon, but Sui was standing next to the driver's seat while we had this conversation.
Do you have like a gas mask on or anything like that?
I'm wearing I'm still wearing my chemical suit.
Yeah, he'll grab you as you go past. Yeah.
It'd be an attack, not a grapple, I think.
Can he make a grapple instead?
I don't think so. It's let me check it.
Yeah. Don't you know? In real life, you can't grab someone as they run past. You have to punch them.
Intercept.
Damage.
Yeah, intercept is a melee attack.
Yeah, but it's only to stop someone moving past you. It doesn't actually.
Yeah. Well, I am moving past him. So yeah, he can spend 5 initiative to try to make a swipe at me as I try to go past him.
How does this work? You just make a dodge check or something, or
yeah, he makes a melee attack. I make a dodge check.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes.
Are you like on any drugs at the moment?
I'm still on meth. Where the fuck is the dodge thing again? I think it's that. No. Fuck it. Manual. And I think I'll spend my or I'll do it afterwards. Yep, I'll spend my last point of edge to reroll failures. 5 successes.
So it's a grazing hit. So it's clear that he wasn't trying to punch you or kick you or anything like that. He was definitely trying to grab you, definitely trying to tackle you. And it's a grazing hit, so he manages to get you by the shirt. If you've got a shirt that it tears or rips, or if you've got a cloak, anything like that, then any fabric, he would rip his muscle. It's the strength of his fingers being so strong. Yeah. But you escape from his grip and are able to slip past him.
Yeah, it gets a hold of my armor jacket.
Perfect.
All right. I have enough movement to basically get to the other end of the vehicle. And then with my action, I'm going to attempt to quick draw and fire my Ares Crusader.
All right. So you jump out of the seat of the bus, the cocoon, push past him. He tries to tackle you, but all he can get is your armor jacket, which he rips, and it tears off a great chunk of your jacket. You run to the back of the van, past poor hapless Fenway, and in a single motion, turn and pull your weapon and fire.
Yeah. There's a specific roll you have to make to draw and fire a weapon in the same action. Let me check what it is.
Right.
Fuck. Sorry. There it is. Weapon skill plus reaction. All right.
Threshold of 3, yeah.
I do have a quick draw holster, but that doesn't matter because I make it anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, and with that I can draw the weapon and fire it as a simple action. So now I make an actual attack. Burst fire.
How many dice does that take away from his dodge?
Let me double check. There it is. Full action -2.
So it's a single net success. After he tries to dodge it.
6 stun, -5 armor piercing because it's stick and shock rounds.
He's not as good at dealing with stick and shock as he is with real bullets, due to one of the more bizarre aspects of Shadowrun's rule. Okay. He's obviously got no armor. He resists 3 of them though. So only takes 3 stun damage, which is barely enough to even slow him down.
It's a -1 penalty at everything he does.
That's right, -1. And it's now his go, right? Oh no, it won't because it'll be Fenway's go, because he takes a 5 penalty to his initiative, which I assume kicks in immediately.
Correct.
For this it does, yeah.
Cool. So Fenway, you can see that Clockwork is about to run to the opposite end of the bus, and
so he's not attacking me then?
His dodge, by the way, Arctic?
Yeah, he did. He got 3 successes on the dodge roll.
Oh, yeah. I still have a simple action.
Okay.
Where is it? I will take cover. So basically, I'm gonna hide behind a seat. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. All right.
Good cover if possible.
I mean, it's an aluminium chair with a bit of fabric on it. It's relatively good cover.
Yeah. There's two types. There's good cover and like half cover.
Yeah. And then there's anyway, yeah. Just he doesn't have a gun, so it's not like he's going to shoot through the metal anyway. Yeah, Fenway. No, he hasn't. You can quite clearly see that his eyes haven't even settled on you once. His eyes are locked onto Godfather.
So what's happened is like they've been talking, and then Godfather threatened, and then then released gas into the room.
The gas probably apparently he just lunged at me, and I dodged.
As Mako said, the sounds of the hissing gas make sense, and the fact that it takes 2 rounds isn't an indicator that it takes 2 rounds for the gas to be released. It's an indicator that it takes 2 rounds for the gas to be effective.
Yes.
Those first 2 rounds mean that there's gas in the air, and
you can probably smell it.
Yeah, if it takes 2 rounds, he probably feels it, but it doesn't kick in until 2 rounds later.
Yeah. He's been dosed by the gas. It just has a slower onset. Like it's not like he's going to avoid the gas.
It's a great anesthetic. So it's like when you're in the anesthetic and they put the mask on you and you start to breathe it, but it takes a little while for you to pass.
Yeah, countdown.
It's a really cinematic moment, right? Like the camera is wobbling because he's wobbling, and there's this hissing noise, and you've got close-ups of people's faces, and there's sweat beads. And yeah, Godfather fucking gets up. He tries to grab him clumsily. He launches. Clockwork starts, and he launches himself, but Godfather dodges. Runs to the other side of the bus. Fucking pulls out a gun. Somersaults just about. Opens up fire. Shoots Clockwork. He looks down at this minor injury in his shoulder. Doesn't give a fuck. And he's preparing to chuck. That's right. What do you do, Fenway?
I mean, it is clear who the aggressor is here. So I'm going to try an influence spell. Okay. 4/6. Let's see if it succeeds.
So Godfather's in the van with everyone.
And the whole thing is locked up in chem seal, and it starts wobbling as he runs from one edge to the other, and you would hear the sound of the gunfire unless it's got a suppressor on it.
It does.
And then you wouldn't hear it, or at least
I'm
almost
not there anyway. But
good point.
I was just wondering, is Godfather wearing like a hazmat suit or something?
Yeah, he's actually wearing his anti-magic suit because he was paranoid about Blanc.
Are you like completely immune for magic?
And it's got a chemical.
Nah, gives a +6 against magic.
Okay, I was trying to influence you anyway.
In an ambush situation, you would be prepared.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So it's logic plus willpower plus my gray mana integration.
By the way, if you've ever seen that thing in Astral Fenway, it stands out to you as being just so wrong.
It doesn't say wrong, it just says it stands out.
Yeah. Like it's not natural.
It's distinct from something mundane or something awakened. It's like a third category
it's also distinct
odd.
from like normal, highly processed things as well.
It's the void. Stare into the void.
You trying to cast on me, bitch? That's 6 successes.
Yeah, I got 4 successes. At 4/6, does the force mean anything?
Not on the initial cast.
Okay, so it failed. Basically, I was trying to get you to calm down. We could talk about this.
Yeah, I'm probably the worst person on the team to try to use mental influence on.
I mean, I just assume you have a gadget for everything.
Yeah.
But me just telling you to calm down wouldn't work either.
Nah.
So that's a complex action, I think, casting a spell?
Unless you reckless cast.
And I didn't reckless.
Which I think you have to clear beforehand.
Yeah, it's my turn then.
So, yeah.
I mean, you can still move. You can take a free action to.
Can I push random buttons and try to open the door?
You could push A button, yeah.
I will push A button.
Right.
Does not open the door. The chem seal's engaged.
I tried.
Yeah.
There's no manual release on your doors?
Not when the chem seal's engaged.
But you said the chem seal's always engaged.
No, I said I have it engaged. The chem seal system is installed, so it's like, you ever been in a minivan? Every time the door closes, it kind of hisses a little.
Submarine, and when it closes, it automatically seals.
Yeah, there's a difference between being closed and being pressurized, sort of, you know. Yeah, when it's all tightened up, it's not just gonna let some dumb fuck manually open the door, or not like, you know, but just the system's not gonna let someone, like, you know, if the submarine's underwater, it's not just gonna let someone try to open the door. That sort of thing.
I'm just saying I tried to open the door and it didn't work.
I'm trying to like justify that this isn't some bullshit argument. It's
it
like
just didn't work.
Reasonable.
On every plane there is a auto release valve, and your vehicle probably has one. But if you go up to the auto release door on a plane and you open that door, will it open it in midair? I don't know. Does it actually happen? It will?
I believe so, yes. It's a manual override, because sometimes it's
manual override.
Yeah, mine does not have that.
But it generally has protective covers on it to stop people tampering with it, and, you know, staff.
It's got the flight assistants are supposed to, like, bring these guys down ninja style, are they? Fuck, we face a lot of... what a fragile society we live in. If anyone could just run up that door at any time and pull open the door.
Yeah, but I assume if you did that mid-air, like, you're out of that, like, you're going to be out? That's not like...
You died, like, you know, what a hell of a way to go, right? Like, you're going to commit suicide.
Take a parachute with you?
Yeah, good idea.
I think that's a process.
I think it's a process, right? That's a good answer. And so there probably is a manual override system in your bus, but it's a process. You probably have to smash the fucking plastic panel, grab the lever, pull the lever down, twist it, pull it out, fucking insert some sort of special key or something, and then the door will open if you give it enough.
Technophobic Fenway probably has no idea where it is or how it works.
I just said I pushed a random button. Okay.
Excellent. And we'll move on to Clockwork, who is charging down the corridor. And now the vehicle does start to rock. As his 210 kilogram frame, that's probably a bit excessive, more like about 140, probably 140 kilogram frame, 145, charges down the central alleyway, tries to grab Godfather by the head and tries to smash that head into the very steel aluminium chair that he is attempting to hide behind. Would there be any modifiers to this that anyone could think? Like
charge, I think.
I don't think
he's
far enough to charge, because you've got a running distance.
I don't know.
He could probably launch himself. I mean, I'd give him charge.
And okay,
cool.
Charge
so give anyway.
Yeah, an extra single dice.
Yeah, +2. There's this.
All right, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 successes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ones. Not quite a glitch. So that's a successful dodge roll, isn't it?
Correct.
So he runs up towards you, dives over, and tries to scoop you up from underneath from the back seat of the bus. How do you evade this guy?
Twitching like a meth tweaker, like or like a little kid running from a bully. Like as he comes around like the right side of the chair he's hiding behind, Godfather just goes around the left side and circles around.
But isn't the chair walled up against the wall? Like it's like a bus?
I was thinking some of them are, and some of them are set up in front of gun ports. I envision this was one of the ones in front of gun port.
Yeah, and you'd rather have like a rotating chair for your gun port or something like that, or even if it's not rotating. Anyway, I get the idea now. Cool. So you slip around it, and he grabs around it. you're the only one with an action left this pass.
As a free action, I'm gonna switch my gun to. Actually, it's already on burst fire. I will take a complex long burst. Fuck, sometimes my character sheet fucks up and it won't let me scroll down. I'll just roll it manually. Two successes, but he is a -5 to dodge.
Unlock those dodge then. But he does a grazing hit as he gets 2 successes. So your bullet drawing blood, but not actually injuring him. You will probably hear outside the ricochet of a fucking round of bullets striking the inside of the van and bouncing around in there like pinballs. Yeah.
Stick and shock, it sticks to something and then tases a little bit. I probably fried one of my AR screens.
That works. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And so everyone's got a bit of a visual now as we can. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Anyway, those of you outside see the van rocking. You might hear a few soft noises, but between the suppressor and the stick and shock rounds, it's not going to be that audible at all. Ricochet, as we know, isn't there. Does anyone react? It's not that unusual, I guess.
How they choose to express their joy at being alive and their love for one another is not really Trey's business.
I can appreciate that.
I will use.
He judges, but he judges silently.
I think Mako's going to send a text in there like, is everything okay?
I think everyone who would respond has their jammer scanned.
Yeah. The jammer is currently not interfering with any of your devices.
It's just the gremlins. I guess. Is it a free action to respond to like a message like that?
Do you have a DNI?
I mean, I don't know what that is, so I'm going to say no.
You won't.
I think it's a simple action. Let me check. No, use simple device is like a single button. It's a complex action to type something out manually.
However, speak, text, transmit phrase is a
What if I just called you like a phone call?
That's with a DNI. If you look at simple action, it's like single button.
I have that comm link you gave me. Like, would that be simple? That micro link you gave me.
DNI gives it more. You can send more information, but speak, text, transmit phrase is a free action for everyone.
Yeah, I'll just so I can do a simple phrase then.
Yeah, like
we all know Fenway's just gonna be screaming like a girl. Just fucking speak.
He hasn't panicked before.
Fenway's already used his free action though to press a button.
Oh yeah, pushed a random button. Yeah, have it next turn.
I feel like Gremlins should help with this button pushing to get effect.
No, but Gremlins never helps.
It specifically cannot help.
I meant to cause an effect. Just something.
Indeed.
Just push a button and like one of the guns goes off. It's like, oh.
I mean, yeah, or the windscreen wipers activate, something like that. I think that's a good idea.
Worst my initiatives are not very good.
I'll use the remainder of my movement to once again move to the opposite side of the vehicle.
So you're back up near the driver's seat now.
Yeah.
Basically delaying until the gas kicks in.
Exactly. Like I'm just buying time. One more round at the end of this, he takes the damage, or he starts taking the damage.
One more round.
So do you.
Yes, I just been like.
I mean, if I summon an like an air spirit, could I just aerate the room?
Yes, that's what one did basically.
There's no way for air to exit the vehicle at the moment.
Oh.
Yeah, but it could. It wouldn't matter though because you've already been affected by the toxin. But you could push all the toxic gas to one side and give you a nice.
You can increase the pressure significantly and just flood the place with oxygen. Like,
that sounds like something's going to explode.
Probably would, but they'd bring in oxygen from the metaplane of air and just flood the place with air, and just
don't make me set off the fucking blight grenade I've got.
So it could be done.
Or you could summon a Force 10 and have it attack Godfather.
Yeah, you could just murder your teammate. That's a great idea.
I mean, what does it look like for me? You just attacked it. Like, oh yeah, we're going to steal your most valued possession.
We were sitting there, and then the gas kicked in.
Fenway, right now is the time you need to decide if you're a team player or if you're one of those people with morals, like a big nerd.
I mean, I thought Godfather was on our team.
Just imagine.
Not Godfather, I mean the other guy.
You and Adam are in a room right now, somewhere in San Francisco, and Adam just suddenly drops a gas grenade on you. Are you his friend or not? Come on, man. Are you gonna?
I thought Clockwork was on our team.
Are you a team player?
You're the golden retriever that has to chat up the hostages all the time. You didn't have to be in this vehicle, bitch.
No, I certainly don't. Don't listen to anything that I say, because I am. Anyway, Godfather, you have won the initiative. You've run away from them. Clockwork is predictably going to be the Minotaur and charge you down.
Yeah. With a simple action, I'm going to take cover again. And with my other simple action, I'm going to pop off another burst.
He is one dice to.
Yeah, -2 dice.
-2, is that right? He got a single success on his dodge roll, which is not enough. So he's been hit one net success.
Makes it 6 damage, -5 armor piercing.
You got on that thing?
What?
How much recoil comp have you got on that thing? That's awesome.
It's an Ares Crusader with a gas vent system. It's 4 rounds, 3 rounds, 6 rounds. I have been forgetting to track recoil. Fuck, thanks for the reminder. That was the passive-aggressive fucking way of doing it. How many bullets have I fired? 3. Again. I've taken actions in between firing. I've taken cover. So my recoil compensation resets.
In all of the examples, when they take an action in multiple rounds, regardless of taking actions in between, they still accumulate the recoil.
Fairly certain the rule is if you take an action besides shooting, your recoil compensation resets. Yeah, I should have missed last shot, but it's okay because I did anyway. Yeah, like if you take a second to like stop and duck down behind something and then pull your weapon out again and start shooting, like you've regained control of the weapon.
Yeah, I think that's right.
We can hammer it out later too.
Basically, as long as you're only using simple and not complex actions to fire, I'm pretty sure that's basically how it works. If you've got a burst, instead of just
Yeah, exactly. Just complex full auto actions round after round, or this is like duck out, take cover, duck out, take cover, duck out, take cover.
Cool.
You can always get later too if it needs to be changed. We can later, but
absolutely
no need to right now. Yeah.
No. And I get 0 successes on resistance, so it's full damage. might just about end this.
6 stun.
6 stun brings him up to 8 stun. He's not going down just yet, but he is swaying. And he sways and sways, and he charges towards you, Godfather, swaying as he goes, and he crashes into you. Oh, yep.
As an interrupt action, I will take a full defense.
All right. And you go fully defensive, and he crashes into you, but not with intent to kill you. He had been going to fucking smash your head against the chair, and he had been going to choke you. But this time it's a desperate crash, a desperate tackle, and he smothers you with his size, but doesn't even get close to getting a grip on you. What do you want? He says as he desperately grabs at your cloak, but just can't really get a grip on you.
Your control rig. I already told you.
You want to rip out a sector of my brain? You want to rip out half my spine?
I intend to replace it with mine, so I'll be doing that with myself.
He crashes onto
Pussy.
the floor, and you push him off. He just lies there as he breathes and fumbles for you, but you can push him away easy. And now you're not sure if he's crying or praying or mumbling, but you hear him spluttering face down on the floor up near the driver's seat of your vehicle, where you just stand above him with your loaded pistol on the back of his head down near your feet. The gas starts coming out. Fenway, you still have an action before the gas will affect you. What do you do?
I think I'll try the antidote spell, because that should help, I think.
Sounds like a good idea. Sounds like one of the rare times on antidote might actually, be just the right trick.
I'll try 6. I think I've already got 3 stun.
Oh,
it's on its way. Don't worry. There it is, 6.
Oh. Look at all those 6s, all that green.
I believe it gives him a +6 to resist the drug when it kicks in.
Alright.
And I resist the drain.
Well, you have taken him a prisoner once again. His brief rebellion has utterly failed.
Can I ask him to open, Godfather, to open the door?
You still have to resist the
I know,
drugs,
I can still say,
damage.
please open the door. What's the test?
Oh, to just ask me something? It's a free action.
But I mean, what's the test for
the drugs? Yeah.
For the drug?
Oh, it's body plus willpower plus 6 for you because of your antidote, and you're trying to resist 16 stun damage.
Seven.
You are unconscious. Technically, you're in suspended animation.
You're underneath this.
I suppose that works because I've got to go to supper anyway.
Yeah, it's like
just don't kill Brian. I've got questions for it. He'll be right back.
Yeah. So as both of them fucking go unconscious, Godfather stands up and just well, that was way fucking harder than it had to be. Sighs and activates the van's chemical filtration systems and tells it to start cleaning the air out. He'll kneel down and hit Fenway with an antidote slap patch and then a needle full of blight.
Yeah, sure. G9 comes up to Mako and says, "Do you think that there's anything wrong in there?"
He said there wasn't, but it seemed really weird.
She nods and just goes on standby, half watching and half doing something else.
Yeah. My father's got a couple hours to kill. What time is it?
What time did we launch the raid?
Like 10 a.m. I think.
10 a.m. we started fighting. It would have been captured within 1 hour, and it was about 2 hours later that the tires turned up. So that brings us to 1 p.m., another 1 hour. About 4 p.m.
All right.
It's been a busy day.
Yep. I'm just gonna leave Fenway in the van where he is, but I'm gonna, once the air is clean, going to open up the back door and pop out.
And a couple of people are watching you. You know, a lot of the people who are watching you are pretending they're not watching you. They're watching you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Godfather is actually going to go back in, close the door, pull out a cyberware scanner, and thoroughly check Clockwork over and see exactly what he has.
Yeah. Control rig to aluminium bone lacing, muscle replacement. I think 2 is the right designation.
All right.
Yeah, and data jack as well.
All right. What grade?
So muscle replacement 2. Does that not make sense?
Like U standard alpha wear.
Right, they're all standard. Yeah.
What quality?
Or
yeah.
used.
Okay,
Yeah,
standard.
they're used. Yeah. Yeah, they were standard, they're now used.
All right. Yeah, I will set up medical anesthetic to keep him sedated. The stuff I kept him with will keep him under for 10 minus body hours, and then I've got the drugs to just keep him sedated from there.
Yeah, I agree that barring, almost divine intervention, that you should be able to keep these 2 in a coma for as long as you want.
Well, I don't give a fuck about Fenway. He can wake up on time.
I meant Boang and Clockwork. Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll basically leave him until that night when everybody's gone to bed.
So how long does it take for Fenway to wake up from this?
10 minus body hours.
Yeah, what's his body?
3.
Or however long it takes him to heal the stun damage, whichever is
And
longer.
That's incorrect. Slab has a special effect, suspended animation. It's not just stun damage. It
puts them
makes
under
you
deeper because it's an anesthetic.
Yeah, the intended the obvious purpose of the drug is to let you pretend to be dead. It specifies
anesthetic.
It gives extensive rules for determining whether or not someone is dead if they're under the effects of the drug. It's for pretending someone's dead, but that's what it says. It says originally designed as a surgical aid. Anyway, sorry.
does Godfather lock Fenway in the van, or does he leave the door open, or what happens after he gets out with?
He's gonna be under for until like 11 p.m. So
right,
it
but
doesn't matter
are you
until then.
locking him in the van when you get out, or?
I'm probably staying in the van.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it was 4 p.m. when this incident happens. By 4:30, no one's come out of the van.
Mako's gonna text. Y'all doing okay in there?
Oh
You
yeah,
alive?
minor
There's no reply.
complication. Clock.
Sorry.
Yeah, minor complication. Clockwork tried to jump me, and Fenway tried to mediate, and I had to gas them both.
Well, fucking what? Is Fenway okay?
He's unconscious. He'll probably be out until tonight, but otherwise, yeah.
Shoot me his biomonitor feed. I want to double check.
Yeah.
His biomonitor will. His biomonitor will probably say he's dead.
Okay.
That's what Slab does. Is it makes you like you have to make a hard first aid test to determine that someone dosed with it is actually alive.
All right. Well, at a glance, it looks like he's dead. His heart rate is non-apparent.
Yeah, if Godfather explains what drug he used, though, I'm not going to be too concerned about it. I've actually got the first aid skill and stuff, so.
Sure.
I mean, there's some concern about it, right? But
there's an ethical concern, but
not concern for Fenway's life anyway. Yeah.
Fenway, you didn't happen to get the platinum DAC wagon thing, did you?
Yeah, he's not here. That's a good question.
I didn't.
Oh, right.
That would be funny. It's way too expensive for anyone with any real logic to take for a Shadowrunner.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, like odds are anywhere where you would need that, Doc Wagon will not come for you. Because it's like corporate territory or whatever.
It's really designed for characters who are
for you, but they need permission to enter the zone. Which I see no reason why Knight Errant would say no at this stage.
I don't think Knight Errant can bar them from coming in here either.
If it's extraterritoriality rules, they can, but if it's not, then no.
But they don't technically own this place.
No,
I don't think.
Yeah, I wasn't saying here, but I'm just saying like the general like platinum sucks because anywhere you'd probably need it like is extraterritorial, and the corp won't let them come in to rescue the Shadowrunners who are probably trying to rob.
Yeah, but they don't always know who the Doc Wagon's being called for. It's situational.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. So that happens, right? And for the rest of you who are still conscious, let's flick back to Ricochet momentarily.
Yeah.
Ricochet, you want to observe. All right. There is one important thing that happens here. And that is that 2 jets land. There appears to only be 20 soldiers, and those 20 soldiers have between them the 5 vehicles that we've already either seen or not seen, depending on the way you want to look at it. But they do land a pair of relatively new, very modern. I think they're bombers. They might be fighters, but I think they're bombers. In any case, a pair of Air Force, Thai Air Force.
Military grade.
Precisely.
Now, I'm assuming they don't go after any of the fleeing Chimera, but what do they do with any of the Chimera that are still lingering?
Shoot them.
Just shoot them out, right?
Yeah, headshots.
Yep, cool. Line them up.
Yeah, that's right. Execution, military execution. Yeah, that's right. But they don't really catch many because, like, the only ones that they do catch had broken legs and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. All right. How long? So, are you going to stay there after sunset?
Depends what's happening.
That depends what's happening. Is anybody partying at sunset? Like this is a big day. Mr. White hasn't contacted you. I might specify.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm partying yet anyway. Not with the oddness of the Godfather van attack and him hiding in it.
Cyberpsychosis, man. What can I say?
Oh yeah, don't get between me and where.
Yeah. So like they're securing the area, obviously.
Yeah.
Does anyone come out of the jet planes, like just pilots, or are they dropping off more troops or material?
They put them in the hangars, and then pilots would come out eventually. It's probably a fairly long process, though. I imagine touring a plane, particularly with like half a dozen guys, is probably quite difficult. But here's one thing you will notice about the soldiers that they've sent. So they seem to be good at pretty much everything. They've got high-tech gear. Even their uniforms are high-tech. They seem to be perfectly capable of stowing a jet airplane when, jet airplane maintenance is a pretty specialized little industry, right?
Yeah.
Pretty particular set of skills that you need for that sort of stuff. They are professional, just to say the least. They're also relatively conservative in their ambitions. They're not going out and searching through minefields. On the contrary, they're not even really securing the entirety of the tarmac. They're really focusing their efforts primarily on the control tower, secondarily on the hangars, and tertiarily on the terminal.
Yeah.
And between the fact that they've only got 20 guys, they appear to be doing a remarkable job. Better than 300 Khmer Rouge would have.
Are they patching up any of the damage?
No.
Do I see Mr. Yellow get out of one of the buggies at all?
I guess it's visual perception check. You could be focusing your binoculars or whatever magnification object that you've got on each of the vehicles.
I got glasses, goggles.
Goggles, right.
I want to edge this or not. I think I will. I think I hit my limit.
That's a pretty convincing number, without any doubt. You spot it right down to the number of stars on his shoulder, and even his name, his name, which appears above his heart on his uniform. So I'll give you that now.
I'm pretty sure I've heard his name already.
I'm 90% sure it's in the data dump we got from.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
You would just see his surname and his first initial, I suppose. I think that's how it would be done. Or just surname, probably just surname.
Yep.
Oh, I just remembered when Godfather's meth wears off, he takes 4 stuns, so I'll just roll to see how many hours it takes him to heal that.
All right. So Ricochet, do you leave in the early evening, or are you going to stay even longer?
Fuck. Oh, I'm going to stay for a bit longer.
Right. Make a body times 2 roll, some sort of resistance roll.
Yeah, not body times 2. I'm happy with because I rolled.
Yeah,
I rolled it wrong last time and I didn't roll enough dice.
You're still capable, you know. Like it's shitty, but you're able to do this. Okay. That night. First, I'll cut back to you guys. Do you do anything that evening, or are we all just laying low and taking it easy?
Probably gonna give both Fenway and Clockwork slightly more drugs to keep them under for longer than the slab, because frankly, I don't want to have to explain myself until after the fact.
I have returned.
Welcome back to getting drugged again.
I'm keeping you medically sedated after your treason.
But there is a brief period of clarity, and we'll get to that in a moment. Anyone else do anything during the evening?
No, I probably just sleep my drugs off.
Excellent. Then you're crashed out when the transmission comes through, but everyone else, including Fenway, who is briefly lucent for that moment, while the trio flashes an important news bulletin. And you see one General Ayutthaya on your own news, on your own television. He's sitting behind a desk, which has probably just been put up temporarily somewhere within the terminal. He's sitting behind a desk. He has the Thai flag behind him.
Credit, motherfucker.
And he is declaring that the Thai military have secured the Siem Reap airport from the Khmer Rouge for, I don't know how to put it, but the good of humanity, as a humanitarian act. For our brothers in Cambodia, they have driven out the Khmer Rouge. They are now declaring that Siem Reap is under Thai protection, and they thank the Interior Minister of Thailand for inviting them into administer this territory. And the transmission ends pretty soon afterwards.
Yeah, no, I'm keeping Fenway and Clockwork sedated until morning. But yeah, dude's totally taking the credit, which I mean makes sense. Like, I'm not gonna say our Shadowrunners did a good job, but
I mean, the only other thing they could say is, "Oh, the people at the airport killed themselves and left, and then we took over."
When you're hired as a deniable asset, you're shocked that you're not giving credit for things.
Yeah, like where's we played enough D&D. Where's the fucking glory, man? Like we're supposed to get recognized and shit.
The thing is, the people who we are important will know we did it.
Yep. If newspapers are still a thing in 2075, and they might not be. Anyway, within an hour, news reports all over the world are reporting this act. It is widely condemned. In fact, it is condemned by Phnom Penh. The government of Cambodia down in Phnom Penh declares this an act of war. They declare this an invasion by Thailand. But and by the end of the next morning, the Interior Minister, Mr. White, has been promoted to temporary Prime Minister of like an interim government of Cambodia, basically.
By Siem Reap.
Yeah, that's right.
Not by Phnom Penh, though.
It's like Vichy France. They say he's the Prime Minister of all Cambodia, but they only have Siem Reap.
Yeah. So the civil war now, I guess, has three sides, I suppose. All right. Well, pretty much wraps our session up. But it leaves us, I think, in an interesting position. As you can see, the airport did indeed have quite a significant impact on the geopolitics of the region in ways that perhaps some of you even half anticipated or possibly guessed at. And for others of you, it might have been a complete surprise. But whatever the case, the chessboard has not just been reset, it's been flipped over and the pieces have been scattered across the floor.
Yeah.
We are still effectively under the control of the same masters, right? Mr. White and Mr. Yellow, they're still our bosses, right? That's an open question, I suppose. You've made a lot of an impact. You haven't made a lot of money, but you've gotten equipment coming out of the wazoo. This is a whole new ball game now. Does it change anything for anyone else?
Well, this not particularly. I mean, it is maybe not what we anticipated going in, but we had some things that kind of fell in place, some information that fell in place this session that, kind of, like you said, confirmed maybe some suspicions or thoughts. But
yeah. I mean, we called it weeks ago that this was going to happen.
Or at least it was a possibility anyway.
I guess we should all say goodbye to the internet people then.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, internet people. I'm not a bastard, I swear.
The thing that took
Make
me...
your own mind. Goodbye.
Thanks, everyone.
The thing that